And it's the criminalization of the marijuana plant has always been a byproduct of capitalism.
That might be the case. I mean, if you have something that is a nice little trading good that you could use for things, then well, chances are you don't really want people to consume it for other things. Actually, you want people to consume it, buy it officially.
Well,
Make a
not even
well,
because you got to remember, like if the hemp industry had been allowed to develop to its maximum potential early on, right? There would not be there would literally be no necessity for a lumber industry, and there wouldn't have been for the last 100 years. The lumber industry would have become an industry of small carpenters.
Pretty much, yeah. Although, to be fair, the industrialization would probably make things into big companies sooner or later.
All right, but even with industrialization, if you can use hemp for all the same building materials that you can use most common wood. Now, obviously, you wouldn't be able, probably, like, there'd be, because of how wood and trees are, not every tree is the same.
Yeah, obviously not.
Some are just, I can't use WASD. Some are infinitely more hard than others, and so on and so forth. But if hemp had been developed appropriately to the point that it could have been used to just replace pine. You know how many things are made out of fucking pine? So many things.
But of course, nowadays with synthetical bullshit materials replacing very many things, the industry would have faced some problems along the way.
Oh, sure it would have, but I would also...
I mean, just consider, fucking plastic and stuff. Yeah, the great question, what happened if Germany won World War I? Well, the world would look very different.
Well, see, the thing is, here's the thing, though. Because you have to think about the absolutely crazy landfall of events that would have happened from maximizing the potential of hemp early on. You're right. The industrialization of the world, things
would have changed a lot.
Things would have changed, but you know what else would have changed? Our climate problem.
Well, yes.
I mean, because of the fact that there would have been a much larger abundance of forestry to maybe help deal with some of the fucking CO2.
I mean, it's interesting, on one hand, people are always like trying to give the pre-industrialization for the when it comes to climate, like, that's the temperature we had before, this is what we have now, this is what we have done. Okay, but what is the alternative? When you develop something as massive as a fucking engine, of course that lends itself to fucking, massive production increases. Before the industrialization, the amount of small manufacturers, just, basic bitch, small companies, was massive, because many people were self-employed. After that, things changed so rapidly. And of course they did. Were people expecting?
Seriously.
I mean, that's one of those tools that comes along like once every 1,000 or 2,000 years and changes basically everything. Look at that. It's a little papagak, and he's like, hello, I'm gonna now write in, but I can only assume should be Cyrillic. We're not fucking Russia, we're fucking Ukraine. We're great. But Kingdom of Ukraine, that makes it even greater. Also, Cronos is first. Actually, I can't pull up your stream because you're not streaming. Fuck. I was about to say, let me just quickly pull it up before I forget that too. And I was like, oh yeah, wait a second, he said he didn't do it. Meh. Why can't the Ukraine build BF-109s?
What?
I can build BF-109s. That's a German warplane. A fighter from the Second World War. I'm Ukraine, and I can build those. Don't know why I can build those, but I will happily build those. I can tell you that much. Jesus Christ, Ukraine, you're off to a good start. Type Ukrainian. Ugh, disgusting. Why do you would type Ukrainian?
Just also waiting on us to start. Oh, shit. Oh, I gotta have an election. No, wait, I should be able to do this first.
So which I have a waifu with
definitely seems like
definitely
seems like I'm not the only one that hates this flag update to War of Rights.
I'm pretty sure, yes. People will hate.
I think I've seen like one person be all like, ah, fuck, good, this was needed, brr, brr, brr. And like, no, it sounds to me like you just suck, guy.
Everybody else is like, nah, this was precisely not what I needed. Oh, then
This
since
is
I'm
not what we
now...
needed at all. Yeah, yeah, yo, this is what we needed. You needed them to take out some of the realism?
Basically, yeah. I mean, look at this. I can do a police crackdown and stuff. Awesome. Oh, then Ukraine. I somewhat feel threatened by Russia. I don't know why I would feel threatened by Russia all of a sudden, but I feel threatened by Russia. I don't even know why. As my next door neighbor. Hey, sure that works.
I don't know about you, but I already kind of get annoyed in video games, just about of any kind, where Fallout is probably one of the best examples of like a big old post, like there's all these fucking buildings, all this shit has happened to the world, everything at least in your general area is fucked up from explosions and war. Why can't I go into every single fucking building?
I mean, mostly because any developer is like, that's too much work for me, I give up.
Then don't put the fucking building there.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't look good. You need the ruins, you need the bombed out buildings and stuff just to make it look good. Wait a second, I'm not gonna build for my neighbor.
No, they're not bombed out, they're fucking airtightly sealed shut. We mean bombed out.
I mean, you know, when you make a map, usually stuff like the interior of individual buildings is something you do pretty much last, if at all. It's extra. It's not necessarily the first thing in their minds. Bit of a waste.
Like I'm not asking for there to be like a story told in every fucking building.
Now, well, give me a second while I look at Ukraine's rail network. Yeah, language is difficult, and let me see what they have built. Oh, look at that. Yeah, right. Crimea belongs to Ukraine. You kind of forget nowadays, but that's actually part of Ukraine.
Indeed.
Well, it should be. Well, not if you ask Russia, mind you, but who the fuck would ask Russia anything these days and expect to get a serious answer? Thanks, game. Okay, let me build the train all the way to the tip. And probably build a supply depot there later. Then we'll pull this down to here. And Starobiliesk. Why do these people have the fucking need to have names that nobody can actually speak? I mean, at least my main capital city, Kiev, is something you can say without breaking your tongue. What are we actually producing ship-wise? Pre-dreadnought hull, an improved light ship hull, and improved submarine hull. I'm not even producing any convoys. Okay. Rough decision, Ned. Rough decision, Ned. Yeah, this is gonna require a lot of building up. That is really going to require some building up. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yes, Spain's in a little bit of a tougher position than I initially might have thought.
Yeah, I mean, Ukraine isn't looking that dandy either, to put it mildly. For some reason, I have a mighty fear of my eastern neighbors. I do remember playing games like this on the, well, the eastern side of Germany, and you do have quite the potential to get into trouble with Russia. That is a bit of a problem.
Let's change that R&D just a little bit, because it turns out I don't have mechanized. I don't even have trucks.
Welcome into great world of...
We haven't even hit play, and I'm already having supply issues.
Well, I start with what I usually do. Building roads. Truly a German at heart. What am I missing production-wise? I'm not getting any support equipment. Game. Come on. I don't even have enough factories, mind you. Military-wise, to actually, It's just fucking... I don't want to stop my fighter production, but I kinda have to in order to produce fucking support equipment so I can actually build units. Yeah, let me take a look at my national focus. How bad is that? It's actually rather...
play.
Yeah, just give me a second to read this up so I can see the Army of International Structural Review. Does this lead to... Hardly nothing. Our future. The agricultural crisis has almost shattered the Ukrainian economy, blah blah blah. Hitman peasants want land reforms, pro-Russian forces, nationalists demand radical measures. The syndicalists mobilize state shepherds all over the country. What do you mean I don't meet the fucking requirement, game? Game's like you can't cite your political things. I'm sitting like, why, game? Okay, let's start with the Army Internal Structure Review and hit play. Sorry, shit. You know what? Nah, I'm gonna take the risk of getting like the 15, 20 fucking papers again. I'm just gonna let the music run in the background. Actually, that's this fucking song from Valkyria Chronicles that's running right now. It shouldn't get me too much trouble. Now then, my troops, you will have a front line in the east. Not that front line though, because fucking hell. And I'm allied with everybody. I'm not gonna defend everybody, I'm gonna defend fucking Ukraine. What has everybody ever done for me, eh? In recent times. What? Who the fuck are you? White Rusenia? Jesus. I don't know who you are. I'm dying. But you control Minsk and stuff. You're part of the Reichspakt. Hello there. Strategy Mamba.
Where?
You found us in a very interesting position. Playing... Fuck, I haven't played fucking... Razor in a long time.
What are you...
Well, let me take a look at Spain. How is Spain actually doing? I mean, you have a rather regal waifu for yourself. That is acceptable. And, I will give you docking rights. You also have the memories of the Republic. It's like, oh, look at that poor dude from the picture. He's remembering the Republic. And you have the fractured society. Yeah. Our kingdom. Oh god, I'm not gonna read all of that because it ends with Shinene Vremnyala Ukraina, and I don't have any idea what that is fucking supposed to be.
I was like, oh, did your stream and I saw the Our Kingdom thing pop up? I'm like, what? I'm Spain, because I got the same pop-up, or a similar pop-up.
Yeah, basically I think this is how it starts, to allow us to do things. It's fair to say that our government is divided, while Pavlo, whatever his name, does his best to solve his antagonism. Ukraine's problems can only be solved when the majority of the population, the kulaks and the peasants, have an opportunity to sell their substantial agricultural products in Europe, beyond the narrow confines of the Reichspakt. We shouldn't provoke the peasants. Yeah, you shouldn't provoke the peasants. There are many of them. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out.
I need to eventually get around looking into my Spain history.
There are many countries that have, it's especially the old country, that have interesting histories to themselves that we should look into.
What always ends up putting me down the rabbit hole, kind of, right? Because like whenever I go to look into the history of any one particular thing, it's always because I've always got like one question. Like in this particular case, I know that for the longest time Spain wanted Portugal. I don't know why I never got it.
Well, because the Portuguese are not that easily taken. I mean, technically speaking, Portugal is a rather new thing in and of itself, because for the longest time the Moors were actually having control of all of Spain, Iberian Peninsula, and then the Christ took it back, and from there things went a bit problematic, let's just say. Reunifying that was not working well, let's just say.
Right.
What did you say, little waifu? They speak.
I
think they speak Ukrainian to me.
What's really funny is one thing I've definitely learned as a student of history is that a lot of interesting questions have very boring answers.
Yes. To be fair, yes.
Like here's a good one. Here's a nice, interesting one for you that I somewhat know a little bit of the tedious answer to. So you've heard of, you heard of the Silk Road, right?
Well, yeah. Who hasn't?
Yeah. Right. And like one trip, if you were a merchant, one trip on the Silk Road, if you made it back alive, might take 4 or 5 years, but you'd be set for the rest of your life.
That was the
like like you would make so much money that you'd be set for the next 3 or 4 generations potentially.
Yeah, that
But
was
there was
basically
never any equivalent of the Silk Road when it comes to the spice trade out of India.
indeed.
There was never like any long trade route that led up through Russia and into the other European countries, or to say Portugal, so they didn't have to fucking sail around all of
Yeah, I mean,
all of the continent of Africa.
I mean, the idea was basically this. I mean, this is the whole reason why fucking Columbus actually was looking for a way over to India, because, you know, land trade to India is quite literally not possible. That's a royal pain in the ass. You have to go through multiple countries. There are no good roads. Transporting shit from down there is only really viable in great numbers by sea.
Well, oddly enough, Columbus only wanted to try to find an alternative route to India necessarily, because
you have to wonder.
I think it was the Byzantines at the time. Man, they were just, or somebody had. There was another faction basically that had all the influence over the spice trade, and they were just like, "Cool, we're not selling spices to Europe anymore." And Portugal was like, "Well, we'll find another route to India," and then Portugal literally just started sailing around Africa.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look at it, where India is, down here, you have to go through Persia, where the Ottoman Empire is on our map. That's, you know, where Constantinople is. That's where Byzantine Empire would be. Yeah, they can block off Europe from the spice trade if they want to, and Europe is not... The old countries are not the sort of people that,
yes,
that will just accept that. Yeah, I mean, you know...
Some people realize that it's...
They call themselves Ottomans now because, you know, the Byzantine Empire is basically the successor to the Romans.
They were the Byzantines before, they were the Romans before that.
I mean, technically speaking, the Holy Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, also claimed to be Roman. They weren't much Roman, but hey, everybody claimed.
Holy Roman.
I mean, after 400...
That's the thing, though, like, because you got the Byzantine Empire literally arose out of the ashes of half of the Roman Empire right at when Rome
To make it very much precisely, technically speaking, the Byzantine, or calling them the Byzantines, is a pretty damn modern interpretation. Technically speaking, they were the Eastern Roman Empire until 400 after Christ.
Yes.
And then they disappeared because, well, the fucking Ottomans, the fucking Turks came along and did terrible things to them. I mean, the Romans were quite literally, let me put it in very mild terms, the Romans as a culture were basically bred out of societies. Because, well, new people settled and mixed, and voila, no Romans any longer. And still everybody and their fucking grandma claimed to be Roman in order to get the claims on everything. Because if you're Roman, then you can claim every Roman territory that has ever been. That's a fucking lot.
Well, apparently there's this neat little you know, section of historians that have this nifty little theory that it was due to, you know, Portugal essentially being completely cut off from the spice trade that inadvertently led them to just be like, well, fine, we'll go do our own spice trade with hookers and blackjack, and it's all going to be sugar. It's just going to be sugar, which led to, you know, so many atrocities. Because it turns out sugar was so goddamn profitable that you would just forget to not do slavery.
I mean, yes, you know, what is a merchant gonna do? A merchant is always gonna go for the most profit he can get. So, you know, whatever is the most profitable, he's gonna fucking bite into that. Doesn't matter what, first and foremost. The ideal merchant.
The theory being that if Portugal had never been cut off from the Indian spice trade, you probably wouldn't have ever ended up with, for instance, Haiti as a French slave empire for sugar. Like all of the sugary slave plantations. I'd say all of them. All the like ones that were pretty much countries devoted to this likely wouldn't have existed in that capacity. Haiti wouldn't have been a slave colony for sugar. Because it was the Portuguese, they once they found sugar, they just were like, cool, we're just gonna take this and put it in our other colonies. We'll grow this wherever we can because that's how cash crops work.
Oh boy.
You know, that's one of the things speaking of sugar, that's one of the most to me, surviving the you know what's most terrifying about surviving the post-apocalypse?
Look at that. The Soviet
No sugar or coffee.
have come back, and he's not dead. Well, that's good. That's good that you're not dead. Otherwise, a zombie would be writing in my chat, and that would be kinda horrifying.
He was also a piracy-friendly port, not because of them
It was.
slaves, but because some pirates went against slave trade. So there's zero honor in some thieves. Well, yeah.
Thieves don't have honor. What's the very profession of thievery means I take something from you against your will. This is
professional thievery. If I'm a professional thief, then that means I'm a professional, and I thief.
yeah. It means quite clearly that I have zero honor. That comes with the fucking contract. Basically, you sign a contract like here lies your honor.
If I was a professional, you know what? Now that I've always hated that saying, and I've never thought about it too much. And now that I am thinking about it for more than a couple of seconds, if I was a professional thief, I'm more likely to steal from other thieves because I'm stealing already stolen property, and they're coming for you first.
Yeah, but the best idea is, if I'm a professional, I am equipped for the job, other professionals will be too. They will be fighting back against me. On the other hand, trade ships, which there were many, as we just said, getting stuff from the colonies was profitable as fuck. And yeah, taking that, also, actually, but pirates at the most time was actually not just, attacking things, but plundering the wrecks, because, well, ships tend to sink sometimes and sail waters, and there's a lot of goodies to fucking get. The Black Monday hits Ukraine, I'm getting hit in the face. That's not nice.
Depends, but you're not going to kill
that sort of work was actually, well, of course, forbidden, because you're still stuff that not belong to you, but it took, I think, until the 1800s until they finally got laws in place that actually forced you to do it in an official capacity. A professional capacity, and not just, as a free trader.
I would also like to point out that whether or not, am I willing to kill somebody to steal something? On just that question, no. Because that's just too vague of a fucking question. Yeah. There's too many factors. Am I stealing something that if I get caught, I don't have a life? Yeah, I'm probably willing to shoot the motherfucker.
Yeah,
because life in prison is life in prison. The death sentence, the death sentence.
Yes. Let me see. Do I want to learn lessons from the Weltkrieg, or do I want the doctrinal experimentation? Which leads to shock artillery fire, which leads to war games, implement 48-hour plan. So we can defend ourselves for total onslaught in the event of massive invasion, most likely from the east.
Several issues with the death sentence. No, yeah. I mean, I have mixed feelings. For me, the death sentence is a mixed bag. I'm not morally against it at all.
Depending on the crime, I'm not either. Honestly, there are crimes that do deserve that sort of punishment.
But I'm also I am morally against my government having the power to dictate who it puts to death. And for what?
Yeah,
I am against that.
There's some problems with that system, admittedly. The Austrian Emperor was brought from Italy.
My issue isn't with the death penalty. My issue is with the people sentencing it.
Yeah, that's always going to be the problem, because if you leave that to humans... So why is my game so loud? No, that's why. My sound controls have a tendency to just randomly decide, you want louder, you get louder now. Yeah. Fun for the whole family.
I think the death penalty should be used for only the most extreme cases, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Honestly, the number one is a pragmatic one, and that's the financial costs. Now I don't know about how how Germany or other places do it, but in America, if you get put on death row, you're going to spend the next 10, 15, 20 years on death row while legal experts pore over every single word, comma, and period of your entire court case.
Because, well, yeah, there could be a legal mistake somewhere.
We're ready in 10 minutes.
What? Okay.
Yeah. I need to read Rudolph's front line, because that's
really good.
Wanted.
It'd probably be too spicy for the baby, so she's having nuggies.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make it as
Oh, God damn it, game. Stop adding extra front lines.
But, I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
Good question. I was kind of getting confused because I had to redraw my front line, because game decided to draw some extra. What did shit out of me?
Also paused for a moment.
Yeah.
And the organization.
Oh yeah, we were talking about the death penalty. Good did you remember, Stretch? Remember, yeah. I mean, as far as...
Oh yeah. So yeah, and like we said, they pour over for every period and comma in the documents to make sure that, like, no mistakes were made and that this person should be on death row.
I mean, yes, at least that much should be given.
And the cost of doing it is, 10 times more than it would be to just put the person in prison for life.
I mean, just precisely what Germany does. We had a time, mind you, where the death penalty was a thing, but that was mostly something that happened inside the military, and the military did not wait long. If you had committed the...
So I'm just trying really hard not to make Nazi jokes right now.
I am talking actually for a time before that.
But it was mostly in the military. Oh, we know.
Actually, we had that.
World know.
We had that long before that.
You were very liberal with your death penalty.
Well, fair. There was a time where we were very, very liberal with that. But before that, mind you, Prussia too had the idea. It's not really a new idea,
Man, there's gonna be a nice warm seat in hell for me.
It's not like, the Nazis invented the fucking, you're putting somebody to the wall and shooting at them. That's not a new idea. That's pretty old. They just did it a bit more liberal than might be necessary. Put very, very mildly. I mean, yeah. Just going off the amount of jokes I've made up, of the Nazis in my time already, I'm probably going to hell. But, well...
No, because you see, here's the thing.
Well, my friends will be there.
Nobody is losing karma points for Nazi jokes, all right? But you do lose karma points for Holocaust jokes, and you lose triple the karma points for funny Holocaust jokes.
Well, that's a problem. I'm pretty sure I made a few shots already. Shocking very much my environment, because how can you say this is German? Well,
that the Nazis didn't invent concentration camps, the British did. That's true. No,
actually, if you want to hear a nice, do you want to hear a nice joke actually from that the British committed after the Second World War?
Sure.
After the Second World War, as you know, many Jews wanted to go down to the Holy Land and create a state. So they, boarded a ship, and well, nobody wanted that, especially not the British. So what do you think the British did when they learned of that ship with over 6,000 Jews on it? They stopped it.
I'm assuming it's going to be fucked up. I was like, I'm over here trying to think of like something that might come out of left field, but is also fucked up.
They stopped it,
they told the Palestinians?
No, they just stopped it first and foremost and be nice, and then they decided that let's send those people back where they came from, and so they built camps in Germany and put the Jews in them. Because most of those Jews came from Germany. And many Jews was like, okay, I'm in Germany, I'm sitting in a camp, I'm imprisoned again.
Which is fucking, which is weird to me, because I don't know that is even accurate. Like, the majority of Jews that were even persecuted during the Holocaust weren't even German. They were from outside of Germany.
I mean, many.
Now, I might be, well, actually, for certain, the number of persecuted Jews by the Nazis, the majority were non-German, and that's just not undeniable.
It kind of depends on your definition. Many of the Jews that were persecuted at first were, of course, living in Germany for quite a long while at this point, so you could consider them German, easily enough.
I believe the two biggest contributors were Poland and Russia. It was Polish and Russian Jews that made up the majority of. Now, that's not to like say that there weren't an astronomical amount of like German Jews killed in the camps, because there absolutely were.
Well, yeah.
But I believe German Jews only made up about 13% of that, like 6 million,
yes,
number.
It changed from a let's get rid of the. I mean, let's be honest here. During the Middle Ages, people have tried getting rid of the Jews quite often because, well, it's kind of the thing. The Jews are the eternally suffering people, and not really welcome.
Jews back then either.
And so basically, they were displaced, had to settle somewhere else, then a few came back, and a few stayed. They spread quite over all of Europe, basically, and so, when Germany started turning very much Nazi, at first they got rid of the internal Jews, put them into camps, and, with all of the nice people that they didn't, like politicians, like, what, you want to be a social democrat? Fuck you, up to the prison camp with you, because then it was still technically just a prison and work camp, and a few ghettos, to be fair. And then when that got really, really big and out of hand, when we started conquering lands and we found out, hey, look, they're Jews here too, that's when things started getting fucked up. I mean, the idea of imprisoning somebody to make them work. That's not a bad idea by itself, because, well, they're prisoners, they cost you money, let them work.
Bad, horrible idea.
The worst part is when you actually start being like, okay, I'm German, I'm full of good engineering idea, let's build kill camps, because we want to get rid of them. German engineering taken to its extreme. Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, and you know, that's, oddly enough, it's kind of interesting because while...
And that's when they lost basically everybody.
A lot of the facts of the crimes kind of have been lost to history because we have deemed them irrelevant. The atrocity that was the Holocaust, on its own merit,
it's not like
Holocaust, on its own merit of the number dead.
It's not like we don't have numbers for that, you know. We're Germans. We have written all of that down. Literally all of it.
What I mean by that, some of this stuff was lost to history. Specifically, and you actually kind of have to dig to find out some of this information, that it wasn't necessarily originally the concentration camps that a lot of the Allies had a problem with, which is the disgusting part. It was with the brutal efficiency.
Well, yes.
That the Nazis had essentially industrialized murder on a large scale.
Oh, yes. Because, you know, that is how the German industry state looks at things. It's like, okay, this is nice, how can I make this better and more efficient? Oh yeah, I know how. And that,
because
take to the extreme means, you know, murder too.
Because you'll notice that, like, even... not even since then, and also slightly shortly before, there were atrocities committed on equal or greater levels that did not receive the... Take the Armenian genocide, for example.
Nobody really cares about that any longer. When people talk of genocide nowadays, they always refer to Germans.
Nobody really cared about it outside of performatory gestures then, when it happened.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really stopped it from happening. Everyone was like, I'm so shocked, I'm so scared. Now let me get back to my life.
Americans are known to have caused some atrocities on German civilians, but we don't believe them. No, alright, so absolutely, the American... And there's actually been, most of that's been declassified and uncovered, because... they basically... the Americans have essentially decided that, like, hey... This is what happened, and you're just gonna have to understand them. Like, here's all the facts that can explain where these soldiers' mind frames were at the time. It won't excuse it or justify it. It's more of a put you in their shoes kind of thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm gonna kind of defend the Americans. Yeah, they did surprisingly decent job as the new Congress compared to what the Europeans have done before.
The number one defense of American atrocities on German civilians, especially in Germany and especially in Berlin, you didn't know who the fuck was going to shoot you. It was bedlam. Every civilian had been armed or told to be armed. There were Germans hanging from lampposts that had been hung for desertion.
Yes. Quite literally, we stung them on trees with nice little signs on them, like, this happens if you are a traitor.
This is what happens when you desert, right?
So yeah,
and that was
sort of motivation.
Fall of Berlin. So, like, who the fuck were... If you didn't just have your hands up screaming, I surrender, you were shot.
Yeah, but, you know, that didn't last that long. As soon as Germany officially capitulated, the Americans actually took stock of, you know, the people, and of course, every man had to be registered. And they actually treated the
atrocities essentially ended before then. The atrocities essentially ended in Berlin whenever...
Yeah, I mean, there were some...
surrendering in mass to Americans specifically.
There were still some over the top things by the Americans, but as I said, you know, generally speaking, the Americans treated their newly captured lands rather nicely, comparatively speaking, to what example the Russians did. Jesus fucking Christ.
There's the famous... And in terms of other American World War II atrocities, just off the top of my head, there's the famous war crime where an American unit at a Nazi concentration camp rounded up the guards and just fucking mowed them.
I mean,
if you come... Estimates on the low end are like 50 dead, yes, on the high end, 70 to 100.
But if you come into a concentration camp for the first time and you see the atrocities,
right. And that's exactly what because this was also, I think, one of the, if not the first American unit. Yeah. Going in, so like this was the first time an American was seeing and maybe hearing, because like in the government we knew about the concentration
but the people on the
camps
ground, you have to imagine the horror of seeing that for the first time and seeing the people responsible for that. Yeah, I can absolutely understand.
I mean, just the sheer number of bodies of Jews, of malnourished skeletal Jewish bodies piled up, and then the sheer number of survivors that looked the same or worse.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can absolutely understand where they came from.
And to top it off, like before that massacre, the Americans first obviously were trying. That unit was trying to help the people, and quite a few Americans were almost executed by their officers because they were refusing to listen to orders, and those orders being, don't fucking feed them, don't feed the prisoner, do not feed the Jews, you will kill them.
Well, yeah.
They do their stomach. This has to be done medically.
Slowly.
And in a very slow way. If you just give them your fucking K ration that doesn't even act as a full meal to you, it will explode their insides.
Yeah, they will quite literally. If you have not been eaten properly for a week or two, it takes your stomach quite a while to get used to normal food again. If you haven't really eaten anything for
in some of them years.
Yeah, but I mean, you have a person looking like death in front of you who's screaming about his hunger, well, as best as he can. It's pretty damn hard to not, just...
Even if they're not screaming, even if you can, because like they know what the Jews knew what they were around soldiers this whole time. They know what a fucking ration looks like. They see you have it, so now they're looking at their supposed saviors holding food. Watched some of their fellow inmates get given food, and then all that food had to be taken away.
Yeah, I mean. Really not a nice situation.
So now on top of the anger and the shock of just the scene of the concentration camp, now you've got even more rage because you tried to just help these people and you can't. You've been ordered you can't.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna take that. You want to take that out on something, so take it out on the people responsible.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, well, it's always easy to say, no, it's Commander's fault if his units are acting out of line. If you are a prison guard in a fucking concentration camp, I don't think that excuse is going to fly very far in the face of the people who just liberated that. Honestly, not. I mean, yeah. That's really not. I would.
There are some other really famous American. There was one where actually this got court-martialed when the 101st Airborne Division parachuted behind lines just before D-Day. They kept one of them. They got blown all over to hell in creation, so nobody landed where they were fucking supposed to. Scattered group of airborne paratroopers came across I think it was an AA gun, or it might have been a Flak 88 gun.
Probably 88, yeah.
They assault it, they take it out, and I think it was one or two Germans surrender. And there's 3 paratroopers total that have accomplished this. They just fucking execute him because and they were found not guilty because. And they should, and this is good. They should have been found not guilty as well, because they as they explained during their court-martial, because they did get court-martialed.
That's fair.
They explained, look, here's were our options. We were behind enemy lines. It was fucking D-Day. Allied troop ships are coming to the beaches, and we had to secure objectives, or they would never make it. We could not bring these Germans with us. And if we just turned them loose, the whole operation would have been blown.
Yeah, in those scenarios, you don't really have a choice. I mean, Geneva Conventions be damned. If it's not reasonable to actually apply them, then what are you supposed to be doing? If you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. That's the reality of war, right. Yeah. And that's why we should be very damn well happy that we don't have major wars at the moment, to some degree. Because fuck that shit, honestly. It brings out really the not so great aspects of humanity. Because we can be quite efficient murderers, and quite efficient in planning and executing massive amounts of crimes against each other, no problem.
And it's funny, because like I guess America has been, in the years since World War II, been very open about its war crimes in the German theater.
Yeah,
and I think a big portion of that is because they didn't have a fucking choice. Since those war crimes since the American war crimes were being used as Nazi defenses in court.
Well, yes. You can't, I mean, the point is this, you
can't try me for this shit if you're not gonna sit on trial
that's actually the whole point why we never got charged with the uncontrolled marine warfare that we did, because well, if you
Right.
if you charge us for that, then
Oh,
we'll charge you
we
right
did bring
back.
charges.
You
We
did
did
the
bring
same thing.
charges. We did bring charges, and then just were like, all right, so you're acquitted of that one.
Yeah, basically nobody's going to actually bring this to a point, because otherwise, rightfully speaking, we would have to be there too.
Oddly enough, there's not a lot of the same kinds of openness when it comes to, say, the Pacific Theater. Now, the number of atrocities arguably might be cut down, might be significantly less.
Ah, the Pacific Theater, yeah, that was a whole nother basket
A lot
of
of
necessities.
a lot of the war crimes committed by the Americans in the Pacific
Bold Jack.
were against Japanese soldiers.
But even there are some rules,
And
technically
even
speaking.
you go ahead and find me the worst war crime that an American soldier committed against a Japanese soldier, and I'll find you a mid-tier war crime that the Japanese committed against American prisoners of war that makes it pale in comparison.
Yeah, I'll just point out what the fucking Japanese did to the Chinese when they took over. That's nothing.
That doesn't affect my reputation. So. I can give you one better. Unit 371. Why does that sound familiar? My memory is shit.
Yeah, my name memory is also shit. So, if you just throw a name around, it's like, memory doesn't work that way.
Mashu Detachment 341.
I'm actually just happy that,
Detachment issue unit.
when the little...
Was a covert biological... they were a Japanese biological chemical warfare development arm of the Japanese army.
I'm actually just happy that when the little Soviet Shenpai came around, I was like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Because,
So, funny thing
takes a moment.
like this.
What, yes, we
World
do.
War... Funny thing about this whole... Whenever we shine light on the medical atrocities of the Germans and the Japanese of World War II. That was just we just took that and continued it. That was the start. The World War II was the start of the Super Soldier program, without being the start of the Super Soldier program.
Yeah, and I do think actually that program is that's chock full of atrocities like you wouldn't believe it, honestly. I mean, the Germans did kind of started the idea. We tried to improve our soldiers with drugs and stuff in order to actually, enhance the performance and things like that. But until it became to the point where people were like, well, can't we do this better from the get-go? What can we do in training to make them better? What can we do in dietary needs to make it better? Then America came along.
Then 40 years later, America came along and went, hey, we're going to go into this Gulf War. We're going to make some super soldiers. We're not going to tell anybody about it. What do you mean you had a Gulf War baby? What is that? Oh, no, we have to tell people about this now.
Yeah.
And now Gulf War syndrome's a thing.
And everybody in Germany was like, oh, look, they try that too. Ah, isn't that sweet? I mean, not really. Germany shuts up when it comes to its war crimes a lot, but
Years of peacetime research, right? And it's funny because it's become apparent. I would argue it was always apparent that chemical warfare as a military tool of war. Now, this is not this is not bringing in attacks on civilian centers. This is literally just in terms of use on the battlefield. Chemical warfare has always been one of the most insignificant, useless, and inept fucking tools of war that have ever existed.
Indeed. It is hard to control, it doesn't do the damages you want it to do, and even if applied perfectly, it's still just a fucking minor annoyance for the enemy, and not much more.
It's even in the days before we knew the best way to make a fucking gas mask, alright? Mm-hmm. Before then... Your whole chemical attack is thwarted by a breeze.
Mm-hmm. Even if you use heavy gases and stuff.
We got them good gas masks, and how'd that fucking do for you?
And now you know how that did.
You know how it did for you? Well, in World War I, you got beat the fuck up by a massively underfit Russian unit because you thought they were zombies. That's a real thing. Look it up.
I know. That's why I'm laughing.
Russian zombie soldiers beat down a fucking German unit twice or three times their size.
They were scared shitless. Quite literally.
Chemical warfare is just inept.
Yeah, it's really... On a grand
Best.
scale of military operations, when you look at it
You
from
see,
the
now
strategical
you-
view, people are not gonna take that seriously.
You're not talking about chemical warfare now, strategy. What you are referring to when it comes to the spread of like the flu or the cold as a weapon, that's biological warfare.
Indeed.
Which I was about to get into. Biological warfare is one of the most deadliest, dangerous
Yeah, and
tools of war that have ever been invented. Arguably as dangerous as a nuclear bomb.
yes, and
Just,
also,
just a much longer term problem.
yeah, and a lot harder to control too. One single mistake there is not just going to, you know, destroy a bit more
That's
land.
equally hard to control.
I mean, at least with a nuke, you know, as long as you take a certain amount of nuclear material, you will get a certain result. You can somewhat predict how that happens. With a biological weapon, that can get
what I was thinking
lower.
of, what I was thinking of in terms of the nuke was in terms of like the fallout, which is the biggest also threat with the biological weapon too, isn't it? The fallout.
Yeah, but that
so
fallout,
to speak.
even still, the fallout is somewhat controllable. I mean, you know, Chernobyl exploded. Well, not exploded, but it leaked and it did quite a few things. But we still have that under control. People still live relatively close by, comparatively speaking, if you think about it. Not a problem. If that has been a biological weapon,
easily.
that...
At least biological warfare is probably the most, for me, the most terrifying weapon of war. Potential tool of war.
I don't want to think
to me,
about
it's more
it even.
terrifying that. To me, it's more terrifying than nuclear, simply because, and like, I'm terrified of nuclear Armageddon, simply because I'm an idiot and I've learned too much about it. Ignorance is fucking bliss.
True enough.
The older I get, the more I hate how long I took that saying for granted.
Ignorance is indeed bliss, and sometimes I'm actually very happy that I don't know all of the things because of
There's so many times, there's so many things I just wish I didn't fucking know.
Yeah, and then when you learn them, you're like, shit.
Can't fucking unlearn this bullshit.
Now I know, and I don't want to know this.
All that's calculable is where the wind goes and where to turn off the generators. That's about it. Well, you see, yes and no, in that you don't have any control over what else is going. Sure, you can predict some of the fallout by looking at wind patterns and stuff like that. But there's a reason why during the Chernobyl incident they walked through the cities and executed every fucking animal they saw.
Well, yes, because I really wanted to stop that spread, but you can somewhat stop it, and if it spreads too far, it's actually getting so thin that the actual effects are going to be very, very weak in comparison. Excuse me.
Well, yeah, but you gotta, like, the weak effects of radiation poisoning just means cancer in 10 years rather than your skin falls off in 10 minutes.
Well, yes, but if it spreads even further, then, you know, you will basically just have some more background nonsense going on. It's like, okay.
And and cancer in 10 years is the best case scenario.
Yeah, but spread it even further and even thinner, and suddenly it's like, meh.
Cancer for the next 10 generations.
Yeah, you know, nobody's living there for good reason. Still.
That's not true. That is not true.
Well, okay, yeah, it is not tactically true. There are some people living there.
There are still a lot of people living in Chernobyl.
Well, yes. Idiotic as that might sound, it is actually true.
A lot of that might make it sound like there's more than you might think. Or
yes, surprisingly enough.
There's a fucking lot for it being Chernobyl.
Army logistics would be neat too.
Chernobyl is survivable to this. There's still uninhabitable zones.
Yep. We should really stay away from those. We can, technically speaking, potentially live there, but why risk that?
And that reactor is still capped. And that's the biggest thing. Like, an earthquake hit Chernobyl, and the whole thing could get 10 billion times worse.
That's why we built that's so fucking resistant. Actually, you know, basically it's built German
Right.
basically as secure as a German nuclear plant, basically. They are supposedly some of the best and most secure because you could have an earthquake, you could have a fucking
Fuck, that sounds
storm.
almost what it said. That sounds almost like what they said when they built the fucking reactor the first time.
Nah, let's be honest here. Chernobyl was built by engineers of far less orderly manner than fucking Germany did. And Germany does shit. We do it.
There was only one real small. I say small. It was a pretty massive fucking mistake, but it was kind. I don't want to like sit here and downplay the amount of government ineptitude that had to do with it, but at the same time, it should be noted, just for the sake of fairness, that the Chernobyl accident also was kind of a freak accident.
Fair enough, yeah. I mean, look at some of the more modern, like Fukushima, that crisis. If that thing had been built by German standards, it would not have happened. Really not.
There's people that are alive today that were in Chernobyl when the accident happened that don't have cancer.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
some people are just not understand it.
Whenever I was in the army, I used to smoke almost a carton of cigarettes a week. I don't have cancer. My compass had radioactive material in it, and I don't have. Not everybody's gonna get it.
No,
but it's one of those things where it's like, not everybody.
Do you want to take the risk, though? I mean, you know, if you go for risk avoidance, nobody would ever smoke, but that's not happening now, is it? 1936 Dublin Olympics. We did our best. German American athletes have seen the most success. Look at that, the Germans beat the Americans with 27 to 26 medals, while Irish athletes performed above average. And apparently Ukraine wasn't even worth mentioning. Oh, poor Ukraine. I do like being a kingdom, but I do kind of feel, you know, somewhat in a position where it's not easy to be in warfare. The obvious target for me would be the Russian Socialist Republic, but I highly doubt my chances there.
I'm just trying to stabilize, and I'm not making any plans until I know whether or not I'm going into a civil war.
Yeah, I do have some pop-ups that go in that direction that tell me, like, okay, some socialists are rising up, and I don't really like that, and my politics are a mess. Also because I don't have the easy option of, you know, banning them. I can claim Mosir and the Ukrainian Galaxia too, though. Can make claims.
I've been just focusing my focus tree on my military.
But I can't, because I'm part of the Reichspakt. Actually, is Spain part of the Reichspakt? Let me take a look. Spain, are you part of the Reichspakt? You're not. You're an outsider to the Reichspakt.
I can't even start I haven't even been able to start my main focus tree.
Germany is actually going for the Eastern Promises, focus tree wise. What's that gonna do for me? Power. Equal details. I can't because I'm not Germany. God damn it. I haven't played with Kaiser for so long. I don't actually know.
There's something I'd see the CIA do to remove Ukrainians' faith in Russia. Oh, you're talking about like Chernobyl? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that it would have been more if it was a CIA op, which I don't think it was at all.
I kind of doubt that, honestly.
I genuinely doubt it. And there's a lot that I can buy the CIA doing.
Yes, pretty much. CIA hasn't the best reputation, let's be honest here. For good reason.
Right. The reason and the motives just don't add up. If they wanted to make the Ukrainian people lose faith in Russia at the time, better ways to do it.
Easier ways to do tricks, for example.
Especially since just causing the event to start might not be enough, because first off, you already know you're in the Soviet Union, so they're going to do everything they can to cover it up. Second of all, then if all you can do is start the chain of events that could lead to our current timeline, then you also have to, you can't guarantee that they can't stop it. And if it was to just make the Soviet Union look bad, there's better ways.
Easy ways, actually.
There are better ways that could have accomplished more.
The way I can get Germany to fuck off against me.
Also, actually, now that I think about it, I don't even think I should see it, especially at the time, as something the CIA would do, simply because it would equally hinder the American people's faith in nuclear energy. And it did. It hindered the world's faith in nuclear energy. It's one of the big things I cite when I'm like, no, I'd rather us find something besides a bunch of nuclear power plants that could potentially ruin everything. Everybody that wants to be like, yeah, but look at all these safety standards. And no, I don't give a fuck about what all the things are there to stop things from going wrong. I give a fuck about what happens if it goes wrong. No, it isn't. Solar is. Solar and wind are literally they don't produce as much energy as nuclear, but they are like to claim nuclear is the safest is just factually incorrect.
Yeah, it kinda is. I mean, to be fair, we will not be able to afford getting rid of nuclear energy for a while.
The safest form of energy that you can have is the one that when everything that can go wrong does go wrong, doesn't make an entire fucking city or state uninhabitable.
Fair point. But still, you know, we're not yet there.
If the world's worst earthquake hits a solar fucking panel field, then all those solar panels fall down, and that's the end of it.
You know, actually, they have batteries nearby, and if those actually catch fire, that's one hell of a pain to get out again. I can tell you that much.
Unless you forget it creates nature reserves. What are you talking? Wait, are you talking about nuclear? Are you talking about nuclear power plants create nature reserves?
Yeah, he's talking about solar energy, I think.
And if solar energy creates nature reserves, that's a good thing. You want nature reserves.
I mean, you know, if we were really efficient about it, we could just go to the fucking desert of Africa. There's many...
Yeah, it's a nature reserve because they don't want contaminated animals getting out.
Well, yes.
That's why. It's not there to protect the environment. It's to protect the environment from there.
It's basically like, okay, let's make sure. I'm just naming. Feel free to do so, honestly. We do like to have guests around, don't we? Oh god, something's happening. Yeah, the Russian threat. Russians' decade-long slump has ended. Now the Russians are rebuilding. Oh shit. The military defense fund has been established, and the Baltic states has been entrusted with managing it. Great!
Speaking of memes, one of the dumbest fucking things I've read in recent years that was this person was being 100% serious, and that's what makes it all the fucking funnier. So you know you all know the basic principle behind hydroelectric energy.
Mm-hmm.
Water comes in, turns turbine makes electricity.
I mean, technically,
that's the dumbest, stupidest, 5th grade level, simplest way to explain it.
It's the easiest way of doing it, but usually what we like to do is actually heat the water to create steam, because steam gives you a lot more energy, which is, you know, the basic idea of nuclear power.
Okay, but at the end of the day, you've still got water pushing turbine, creating energy.
And not really, you're actually using the steam to turn the turbines. It's an important difference. You can use the water itself in its current to actually make a turbine.
That's a 5-year-old. Shut up.
Stop being a 5-year-old about it. This is a difference. A difference.
5-year-old I have to explain it to.
Okay, listen. It's very easy.
We get the idea. It's like strategy says. We get the fucking idea.
Okay.
So this dude's idea was to essentially put caps, like hydroelectric turbine caps, on top of Yellowstone, like the geysers.
Mm-hmm.
So that way when the geysers erupt, as they do often because it's Yellowstone National Park and that's kind of the tourist attraction, come see the fucking geysers that could literally kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you didn't know, if Yellowstone goes up, America's done. Actually, the North American continent is fucking done.
Yeah, let's hope that never happens. That would be just terrible.
And so yeah, basically his idea was just like, yeah, when a geyser comes up, it spins the turbine, and now you got power for a little while. And it's like that. What? That's not how shit works. Why? Just use the thermal heat. It's right.
Yeah, they're actually a nice source of heat. The steam is actually far more valuable. Actually, you can use that to create a nice lot of energy. If you want to.
Coming from also the same neck of the woods where somebody I once saw ask. So like the way they pitched it was this is the second dumbest thing. So you know what a tornado is, yeah? Mm-hmm. You know how they kind of work? It's hot air, cold air, different directions. They combine tornado. That's the explanation for the 5-year-old.
Indeed, that is the explanation of a 5-year-old. But
this dumb motherfucker was like, "Can you just blow it up?"
What?
He just like set up, and now in his defense. On a first glance look, I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, but
set off an explosive large enough. You depressurize the you would change the pressure of the inside of the tornado so much it would fuck it up and not be a tornado anymore.
I mean, it's in the same vein, idea-wise, if you break it down as fighting fire with fire. I get it. I get where he's coming from, but the first reaction is like, what?
But then it's just like, okay, so I need you to think, if it was really that easy, Don't you think Oklahoma would have a much better time as a state?
I now have this picture in my head of a fucking Texan cowboy shouting yeehaw, shooting at the tornado.
just throwing hand grenades at a fucking tornado.
Now he's just taking his cowboy revolver and shooting at it. Gosh, mini explosion.
I genuinely looked at this person because I was looking face to face with this person. I looked at him and I was like, I bet you thought the ending of Twister was pretty realistic, huh? Have you seen that movie, NCS? Have you seen the movie Twister?
I have, yes.
And where they, at the very end, where he ties himself with a leather belt to a steel pipe.
Indeed.
And the F5 tornado that's strong enough to rip up the entire fucking building.
Yep.
Just doesn't rip the two squishy, fleshy people.
You're like, okay, yeah, that's not how the physics work, though.
And then also nothing just happened to impale them.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, okay, I mean, fun movie, but please.
What I really think is,
Yeah, take it as a joke at the very least. Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm gonna call for free and fair elections in Spain. What I think happened, I'm willing to bet money that this motherfucker had watched like the movie. I don't know if you've ever seen the old John Wayne movie called Hellfighters.
I think I have.
It's an oil rig movie.
Yeah, I do think I have. Yeah.
John Wayne and his crew, they're oil rig firefighters. That's what they do. They put out fires at oil rigs. And this is true.
That sounds fucking familiar.
It used to be. The way that you used to put out some of these oil rig fires, because it only worked for certain ones, like when the oil's shooting out the top on fire kind of fire. The way that they used to put those out would be basically with an explosive.
I mean, yes. As I said,
because
it's basically the same thing. It's fighting fire with fire, which is an actual thing you do. You actually burn down areas so that you can control the way fire moves and cut it up from more profitable areas.
Well, I didn't know that was what was going to fucking happen. All right, pausing.
Are you in trouble?
I'm gone. I allowed the election, the free and fair election. I accepted the results. It's game. I think I've got game. Is this game over for me? Because I'm now the Iberian Federation.
Well, you're now a syndicalist. Welcome to fucking syndicalism.
Am I actually?
That is why I was very much going for conservative, and now I actually try to disassemble my parliament and become a kingdom in a proper sense. Because I know that syndicalism is a very, very bad idea.
I'm really fucking
According to
I don't know if I have any control or not, because this AI suddenly issued fucking orders, and I can assign a field marshal to you. That's weird. Okay.
Are you still around? Are you still alive?
Put us down at 1x speed for a minute.
I can do that. No, I cannot about the goddammit game. Now I have us done. I just need to quickly look at my window because YouTube is doing something strange and I don't like it. What is YouTube doing? My beam. I need to reload this picture window. Whatever the
Okay, I do think I am still in control.
Good.
I am not at all certain what the fuck happened.
Okay, it seems to be working.
I definitely. Okay, I'm definitely still here, but I guess for some reason, rather than just be like, "All right, this is your new government now. This is you." Yeah. Instead, it went, "All right, this will be you in just a second," and then it made a bunch of fucking battle plans.
Just when you said like,
put me on. Like I suddenly had troops leaving. Okay, I didn't realize part of that because I didn't realize I had as much territory as I do. Where the fuck are you going?
Oh yeah, you actually have territory in Africa.
Yes, I do apparently.
I'm
over here thinking I'm over here playing this like it's Crusader Kings. And like I have Spain. Spain is Spain. That's what I got.
You might think so, but no. Spain is not just Spain.
So now I need to fucking do goddamn. I've started a new game, I guess.
Well, I mean, you changed rather radically, I would say, because, well, at least
No,
technically you weren't part of the Rice Pact anyway, so you are in a bit of a better position, but still, that's massive change.
when I say I started a new game, I mean like I got nothing in development. Like my research is still going, so that's good.
I guess you're technically speaking a new country now. That's interesting.
That is very interesting. That's interesting to me that they would just suddenly cut off everything.
I mean, maybe for a second or so the AI was actually in control. And the AI will usually not...
That's also a little weird to me that the AI took control.
I mean, just go through everything and tell me if you're actually still capable of playing, like you're supposed to.
I am capable of playing. Just don't go above 2 times speed for a minute while I
Okay.
reset my fucking game, I guess. Because now I've got to go through. Like I've got to do more work than when I started the game. At least when I started as fucking Spain, it was all right. Yeah, you've already at least I had rifles in production.
I need a lot of rifles, now that I think about it. I also should stop the trading, because I need to actually send things to the pact now. We now have an Eastern Defensive Pact, and that pact needs weapons. I need to produce those weapons. But I still need like 2,000 rifles just for my men. And 200 support equipment, and 120 artillery guns. I don't need that many trucks though, so... do I need trains at the moment?
All our what few measly dockyards we have can we put into fucking...
I don't.
Okay,
Could produce fighters again. Well, I could get rid of that.
These can go here. You can have this fella. I don't know why the AI seemed to think we needed a front line on Portugal's border.
Mostly because Portugal is your natural enemy of Spain. And I think, politically speaking, they are conservative still.
Maybe, but I'm not Spain.
I mean, you are still Spain, just a different Spain.
I am Iberia.
Which is just another way of saying the Spain fucking island.
No, it isn't. That's not what that translates to.
The Iberian Peninsula is just Spain plus Portugal.
I am the Iberian Federation.
Do you have more friends now? Have you taken over anyone else?
Okay, I don't know.
Let me take... Actually, you have the Equatorial Guinea as yourself now, I suppose. How the fuck did you gain that in the on the west coast of Africa? Pretty much in the middle of Africa. There's a small little island, or well, retrenchment. That is you now, apparently.
Her next time. I'm gonna go get a shower. She's in the bath.
Yeah, I'm just sitting and fearing for Russia, and he's like, I'm gonna become a fucking federation all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't... And yeah, like, I've got one little territory over here in fucking...
Yep.
In Africa. It's just... It's almost a perfect square.
Yep. That's what happens if you let humans draw borders and not, you know, natural things, like how it's supposedly happened once. I mean, you know, most countries look like a mess. And then you have America's border with Canada, which is a straight fucking line to some degree. And it's like, that's not natural. Actually, you could get friendly with the Frenchies now, because they're too syndicalist.
I don't even know what that means.
Syndicalist? Well, that's a form of socialism. Let's say it like this. That makes it very easy. Because now we have something to equate it to. It's not the same, and explaining this would be a pain in the ass, and my mind is not willing to go through it right now, to be fair. You also lost your docking rights with me and stuff. Yeah, I'll offer you docking rights and stuff. Because even if you have become an evil syndicalist and I'm trying to root those out of my own country, that's sure not come between us, Charlotte. And right now we have Not much. The Eastern European Defensive Cooperation is not yet equipped. Basically, I do get the idea of the Eastern Europe Defense Cooperation, though. It's basically like we all have one common fear. That is Russia. So, defend.
We have one common fear. That is Russia. I'm going with fear. I'm clueless.
I am very afraid of Russia. Especially the socialist Russia. Because, you know, I'm not socialist. I feel like they might have some evil plans. And while, you know, Ukraine might not be the biggest and strongest country in the world, it will probably very much at least be able to get to Moscow. And just fuck with them. And we'll get killed, but that doesn't matter. Of the Baltic states, maybe.
I've got so many goddamn forms of government.
Tungsten. I would like some tungsten, but I can't afford that because we need to build shit. How long until this is?
I'm about to start banning some shit.
Yeah, and you know, you try to come back from that. Baltic state has chosen to invest a part of our joint defense cooperation fund by sending us a batch of army support equipment directly. It has been directed to our stockpiles. Nice. Yeah, I'll send it back to our stockpile. Look, I'm sending support equipment to my brothers in the Eastern Defense League. You'll be strong. Now I will We'll go through all of the usual nonsense in order to give you all of the gas military access. And
I fucking need more naval commanders.
Improve relationships with Spain. I mean, they're disgusting syndicalists, but I guess at least the person in charge is a nice guy. That speaks well of them. Actually, what is my navy doing?
You don't worry about what my political ideology is. It's probably gonna change.
Hold some nice votes, get rid of all of the nonsense. And I offer you military access. In case you actually want to get involved in a Russian war in the future, we have Sevastopol, which is a nice little Black Sea harbor that you might want to use for that. Jesus Christ. Lungs. Start working again, please. You ships, join the Ukrainian Navy. The Ukrainian Navy is 33 ships from Jesus fucking Christ. Throat, calm down. I haven't even been smoking.
Yeah, I've got all my navies conducting patrols for whatever that's fucking worth.
Only do that when you're actually at war, because otherwise you're just gonna waste fuel. Can tell them to train though, which is also gonna cost you fuel, but it at least gives you navy experience.
But I don't know if and when I'll be at war.
I will take all of my
I don't even know I don't know shit about Spain. Who hates Spain in World War One? This isn't even World War One.
It is after World War One.
This is alternate history of World War One, so I'm more clueless.
Technically speaking, you can just go by the political ideologies at the moment. Everyone who's seeing the list will probably look upon you favorably. Everybody who is not, though, will hate you. With a passion.
You know, we're like, you're a syndicalist now. I'm not in the mafia.
I don't know, you're technically speaking out of mafia. A very evil mafia.
I don't think so.
You create fleet, please. Now I have 2 fleets. I have the Ukrainians fleet, which is made of all of my little shippies, and I have my submarines to patrol. Because surprisingly enough, submarines are very good at patrolling. Like, wow, you don't say. Where did you learn this? Well, Germany. They're also pretty damn good at sinking things. Merchants. And it's not train any basic divisions because I still want to give my defensive pact a few more weapons like artillery guns, but this should be taking a while. Just restocking enough artillery is actually, for my own troops, is going to take a while. Oh boy.
Give me a second. Hang on a second. I gotta turn the kid up.
Yeah, well, no problem. I hold the position. Now then, what are we gonna do with fucking Spain? Not much, I'd imagine. What about my fucking things. How do I... Oh boy. These are interwar fighters, aren't they? Majority. Flugzeugbau Friedrichshafen. Friedrichshafen! That's fucking German. Why do the fucking Ukraine has fucking German planes? You know, I'm kind of confused. I mean, oh no, yeah, of course we have, because we're part of the Rice Pact. I'm an idiot. One time I was thinking, why the fucking Ukraine build fucking German planes and shit, if they want to, you know, like the fucking Mi-109. Okay, on Kiva, Bukhara, and Turkestan. Ah, wait. I think what's happening to the Iberians? What happened to the Iberians? They are the Iberians now in a war. What did he spawn Iberian? Oh shit. Cronos? Cronos?
Oh, yep, I'm here.
Do you still have your front line to the Portuguese?
I do.
You will need it now.
Saw it.
You will need it now. They just declared war on you.
I saw it, and I expected as much.
Yeah, that's why I paused the game. Didn't wanted you to run into the open knife, because you were like, shit, they draw a front line. I didn't know if you had to actually redo it, because now is a good time to use it. Hey, you can finally get the whole Iberian island, though. Isn't that neat?
Indeed.
Yeah, but cannot guarantee you independence. Okay, I can give you a non-aggression pact, though. I would kind of like to send you some volunteers, but I don't think I actually can. We have sent it. Probably not. Hungary. Why are yours white? Strange. Just tell me when you're ready and I unpause the game again. Just prepare for war. I suppose.
You're good. I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, I can't press spacebar. I forgot. Okay. 10 volunteers. We have sent blah 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 blah. Telling democracy survives. Nobody cares. Come on, game. Tell me if I can actually send some volunteers over there. Would really like to get into that fighting. Can send volunteers to help them. You have 0 divisions volunteer versus the maximum total is 1. Okay, I can send you 1. To be fair, that's better than nothing. What do I actually have in my army that would be helpful to you? A 14th Proctory Divizia. Jesus Christ, Ukraine. You make it really easy to hate on you with your language. It's the same problem I have with the Russians. And the volunteers. Chant. Yemenice.
War propaganda against Portugal.
Because everybody hates Portugal. It's like, oh, those countries Portuguese. And I just prohibited syndicalism. Yes, I finally dealt with syndicalism in all lands. And we will have a professional
army. I've still got
army.
units in route. I'm gonna go ahead and start the strategy.
And I have sent you 1 unit of volunteers if you accept. I can at least help you somewhat this time. You're not alone in this warfare.
Yay.
Oh, they say ours. I sent you the 14th Provisa Divisiona or something. I don't know. I don't speak. Whatever the fuck. Ukrainian.
I think it's just Russian.
Don't actually think so. No, I think they're actually pretty damn proud of having their own language. It's somewhat Russian influenced. Yes, but I don't think it's actually Russian. I think there's a difference. I actually had that debate with somebody from Ukraine like 10 years ago when we were working together on a project. At least I think I remember it like that. Now then.
We can just move over to there.
Will you beat Portugal? Probably you will. Just going off what I see off the map.
Almost certainly.
Well, maybe it will not even be any fun for my little volunteer unit, but hey.
They definitely don't seem to have much in the way of a fighting force.
The question is why they actually declared war on you then, those fucking Mongoloids. I mean, Russia declaring war on all of its neighbors, that's kind of what I expect to happen, as long as they don't declare on me, that is. I'm not having a problem. Portugal. And I guess technically speaking, you were very much unaligned with them, considering that they are very much politically different. Oh look, she has a little crowny thing on her head. Maria the Third of Portugal. And you now have a very much a red scarf and stuff, and a red beret. Yes, you're cynicalist as fuck. Thank you for that. Very different looking for me. We look at my little leader. She's just a happy little king. That's 10 cents and a half too. Vasil, leader of Kingdom of Ukraine. Little hat, some ornaments on it. What could be in a uniform, hard to tell. I need to watch the rest of it. When will my forces actually arrive? My forces will arrive at the 14th of January.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna help you clean up basically, but I think you have this in the back, honestly.
Yeah, send them to there. I'm gonna have all their territory before I've even taken out most of any of their army.
Which kind of shows that Portugal was at a whole very much unprepared for this.
They declared on me.
They did. That was a fucking stupid decision to make. The 10 number of them. I mean, I think in the
Now,
last...
as a result, I'm gonna capture everything.
Yeah, I mean, you know. With the 5 more days it takes until my volunteer unit arrives, I think until then you have actually cleaned this up. I don't think we need to worry about it. Whoa. Now then, back to me planning to send more stuff to my friendly neighborhood Eastern European Defense Cooperation. Verdict State has chosen to invest a part of the joint defense. Yay! And I immediately sent them back. It's a bit lovely. At random intervals, the Eastern European Defense Corporation sends me stuff like, you know, support equipment and artillery, and I just send it immediately back to the pile. I'm like, here, take it. Oh, how nice of you. Yeah, have 150 of those back.
I love that I've essentially just cut their entire army to ribbons in moments.
Yeah. I don't think they were wholly prepared to fight you, honestly. It kinda seems like it. At some point, hopefully I get some infantry equipment too, so I can actually send it back to the pile.
I don't know why the fuck the AI had decided to do that, but okay.
We have arrived! Barley, where the fuck are we? Run!
The AI canceled all my construction projects and I was just like, I wonder how long my supply depots are gonna, or if they've started yet. And then look, and it's like, oh, I've only got a single fuel silo being built. That's dumb.
Especially if you don't have that much in the way of mechanized troops. I mean, you do have a big fleet, don't you, as Spain?
Yeah, like I need the fuel silo,
Yeah.
but I needed the supply lines more.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess the AI thinks that most of the time you will not be fighting on your own homeland, so I mean, you know, but uses them for supplies.
Yeah, well,
I get the idea, but
I'd rather be safe than wrong.
fair point. Very fair point. Now the little unit. While I walk over, this will probably end. Actually, we can probably go back to 3 times speed, going off how this war is developing. Beep. As you can see, my one voluntary unit go like brr. October. Aha. I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds
guys,
impressive.
Just close it the fuck in on them. Move everyone to strike what's left of them.
Yeah, I don't think there's much worry here. I'm actually surprised they haven't capitulated yet.
No, they've got this one port left, and I'm coming for it.
Actually,
It's 17 divisions against like 1 or 2.
Oh, they are also in Africa. You have to take that into consideration. You will probably have to go down there and deal with them. Which means naval invasion. Because I don't think they're going to capitulate.
Yeah, well, That'll have to wait for a minute. I've got to, after I finish taking off this little port city, I need to both walk dogs and get the child out of the bath. Which won't take long.
We hit on this.
You shouldn't have to pause it for all time.
Yeah, I'm just going to probably go down to 2x speed, and then if something pops up that involves the Iberians, I'm just going to pause.
Yeah, because I figure by the time, even if they were already on their way, by the time they get here,
yeah,
I'll be
keep
either
watch.
back or almost back.
Yeah, I'll keep watch on your little island. If something should pop up, like a Portuguese army for some reason, I'll keep dead. The control by portion of the game, going like, oh shit. Yeah, naval invasion. That's gonna
all
be
you
fun.
motherfuckers that are not in the fight right now, get in the fight.
Don't worry, I'm in the fight. I'm gonna make all the
Please
difference.
continue ending these dumb fools.
I think you have pretty good chances. They have 3 divisions left, no reserves. This is gonna be over. Although low supplies for many of your troops. Yeah, understandable though.
Alright. You can go ahead and...
Just make sure everything is set up so that you don't waste time in building and shit.
Well, everything besides national focus completed. Consolidating Spain.
Not much left. 1 little division fighting you still. And I think they're trying to ship out the few troops though. And Serbia declared war on Bulgaria. Nobody was surprised. The Fourth Balkan War. Fuck's sake, Bulgaria. It wasn't enough for the fucking Serbians to start fucking World War I, no. They have to do it again. Oh, I guess you got a peace treaty out of that. And they're done.
Okay. It's like the threat of Portuguese invasion is it's unlikely. But we should be ready.
For the worst. And Portugal has joined the Entente. Well, they can go right ahead and do that. Nobody cares. Just
Just make sure I've got defenses up around the main island.
And I just finished my first military victory.
Defenses are indeed up. Now I'll be right back.
Yep, you do that. I'll just keep an eye on things while you're gone. The Third International, eh? Radical socialists. At least the Germans are, you know, Democrats. You know, authoritarian Democrats, to be fair, but still, they're trying their bestest, being, you know, all German. About being Nazis about it. Do we want some resource extraction? Technically, yes. Practically speaking, maybe, no. You know, that's probably not a bad idea. Might also be a good idea to go in the direction of synthetic oil. Jumping out of that. Army. Everybody hates. The Balkans. Always such a fun area to be in. Review the Navy, you know. That gives me wonderful license of critical population factor. Arrangements of fortification training, that's NATO. War games are pretty nice. Implement the 48-hour plan. Main base war support stability. My stability is not the greatest. Runs, consumer goods factories -5. That's neato. I think I'm going to promote the Unity. Yes, very much so. Unity sounds like a good plan to have. Hello. Tip. Still don't want to trade for tungsten though. Well, so much for that war. What a war was. A very short one. Oh well. What can I say? We all knew it would end like this, probably. Rest. How is the rest of the world coming along? Russia is trying to swallow its smaller neighbors. Not unsurprising. But still. Part of the Entente now. Donauverband. Hungary is in, Poland is in. Entente is made up of Canada, French Republic, State of America. Oh Gott, Megasa. America. Holding you together is such a pain in the ass. Shared international. The respect. So prosperity. Showers on Necklace Alliance. Okay. Eastern Front of the Third International. Makes me wonder what happens, or what is going to happen to my neighbors. I mean, to be fair, Bulgaria is kind of getting somewhat murder-gated. Droppy indeed. Join with the army again. Army stability is not that bad. Yet. Training, commander supply penalties. Planning. Army defense. Encouragement. Close air support. I don't think I have enough planes to actually think about close air support. Do I want to send more? I mean, yes, I kind of want to send more. They do give me stuff sometimes, so I kind of want to put more to the pile. When and if we can, that is. Which would be highly reliant on the fact when we actually get more. And more. Equipment. Especially infantry equipment. That's kind of what's keeping us down at the moment. How does it look with tanks though? Interval light tank. I really don't like Russia growing that big. That screams problems in my near future. I really would like to build some good old-fashioned BF-109s, but yeah, that doesn't give me a good feeling right now. Not when we can't even afford to have every man with a fucking rifle. But we will at some point. And that area is still rather peaceful. God bless that. I somehow feel the need to point out that I will not go for a fucking new weapon right off the bat. I don't think I can afford that. Field hospitals would be neat though. Yeah. That's probably actually also not a bad idea, is it? Yeah, because it helps my support artillery. Might not have artillery yet in my little army of peasants. But hey, look at those. Still use horses, Jesus fucking Christ. Right. America's fucking itself. Let's take a look at it, shall we? So basically everybody's at war with everybody. Pacific States, American Union State, Combined Syndicalist America. Everybody looks at him and goes like, huh, yeah. How about we attack them first? I do like that the United States of America is actually the smallest part of America now. It was like, yeah, that whole fucking democracy thing. Quite annoying, isn't it? What am I gonna do after that? Probably a peasant state. Then do this, which gives me more stability. And then the succession question. That sounds like a pain. In my near future. I don't really like the idea of succession in my country. For some mysterious reason, I don't think that Ukraine needs that trouble right about now. Thanks for sending me so much equipment. Yeah, have 500 back of them. All for the pile. I mean, technically speaking, if I get 1k, and then back 500, I should have an overindulgence of, like, 500. Okay, do you do this actually? Converting shit now? Because that sounds rather useful. Yeah. Seems like a pain in the ass, doesn't it? How does Bulgaria hold? Surprisingly enough, they hold. A peasant state. Seems like a bit of a waste to invest in it. How about you? More naval speed, eh? Not a bad choice. Not that I need it right now, that is. Yeah, kind of would like to have some more dockyards though. I don't know how long it fucking takes us to build one fucking pre-dreadnought hull. I don't even know if that is a good idea to continue building that. Might actually better to build an improved heavy hull, the Hedgeman class. That's halfway finished, I don't want to stop this now. I might actually be able to plan this, and I would like some submarines at some point. I should get like 3 naval dockyards sometimes. Why joins the co-prosperity? Well, great for them, I'd say. Ah, the rice pact. Kinda seems like, war is building up because, well, everything seems to be heating up a bit, but everything has been peaceful. Yeah, welcome back. Everything has been peaceful and relaxed. Well, apart from Russia trying to take over more of Central Asia itself, eating itself, and America has split up into 4 parties.
Yeah, I saw that.
They really do kinda hate themselves now. It'll be interesting to see how that fucking will end. Probably not good, I would assume.
No. The Pacific States of America, the United States, the combined syndicates, and the American Union.
Indeed. Everybody got a little bit of the pie, that is America, and, well, they hate each other with passion.
Maybe we should just start sending people over there.
I'm not too sure if that's the war I want to get involved in, honestly. I mean, maybe if there's somebody who's, there's an authoritarian Democrat. That would accept actually some volunteers. Interestingly enough. And Austrian just declared on Hungary. Okay, so Europe is also going somewhat to war, actually.
Up in smoke.
The stability of Central Europe is threatened. You don't say. Oh, this is going back to very much bad times. I mean, technically speaking, the Balkans are still at it, hating on each other and trying to murder each other, but that's nothing new. That's the Balkans. But Austria getting involved in war is probably not a good sign. We kind of understand why they would like to take over Hungary. Because Austria-Hungary was a thing. And I don't think they ever got over that idea of being the big boy. Let's see how this goes. Actually pretty well for them, now that I look at it. Austria, would you also take some volunteers from me? They would.
There we go. Now we've got some. What do you mean you're fucking? How is your?
Yo, Austria, my friend, my buddy. Yeah, have a volunteer. They say like, we will accept this. Yeah, why wouldn't you though? Not like you have anything to lose by accepting some volunteers.
I'd start working towards going to war with some money, but I wouldn't know who the fuck to go. I didn't really know one to go to war with.
I mean, you could try to expand on Africa. It's an option. Maybe. I mean, there's the Union of South Africa, for example. That's okay. They're in the Entente.
Yeah, but that would require me making it through either doing a naval invasion or just making it through this fucking giant little Reichsback bullshit.
I also just realized Hermann von Göring, in the leader of Middle Africa, looks pretty damn chill. Göring has changed very much. He has no sunglasses.
Indeed.
And boobies. I do love the interpretation people have of some Nazis.
I can't even fucking take Morocco, because if I take Morocco, I'll kick off a world war.
Yeah, they are also they're in the Reichspakt. Which is fine
I gotta
faction.
grab my vape.
Also, they are an autonomous puppet of Germany. Basically, you know, you would be declaring on Germany. This might not be for the best.
Alright.
Mm,
Damn, we've almost been going for 2 hours.
actually, right.
Well, you've been live for almost 2 hours. We were going for we were bullshitting for a half hour, 45 minutes before that.
True enough, true enough. I don't think I can stay on that much longer, but let's squeeze out a bit more. Let's squeeze out a bit
fine,
more.
Once you get on, once you're done, then I'm gonna go get food.
Food is a good choice. Always a good choice.
I got really concerned because I can send foreign volunteers to support the CSA. I was like, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I mean, I could send one volunteer unit to the Austrians. I'm gonna help them now take Hungary. And, well, being a nice person, good neighbor and stuff. I don't like that Russia is growing, though. That makes me worried, because once I finish with the South, they might look to the West, be like, huh, Russia hungry.
I'm going to send some volunteers to help America.
I mean, considering how big my army is, I can send precisely one unit, so it's not like I make much of a difference, but hey.
I can only send one unit to support the combined syndicates of America.
That gives me more power and more stability. We will welcome the federalization. There's a justification against us. The commute of France is justifying against me. What the fuck are you doing, France? France, stop it. Don't be such a Frenchie about it. I want to give them the go-ahead. Then, not really. Superior enemy. Large river crossing. Division still preparing. Am I sitting at a river? I mean, yeah, there's a river. Okay, if I tell you to just go to the river, which make it a bit better. Go! Norway has joined the Entente. And a colonial reform in Middle Africa.
Nice.
Which means Göring is kicking up some shit.
I can't even really send my army into that little colony because I need to produce more men.
Wilhelm II of Germany looks rather nice with that little Pickelhaube. Very melancholic view. And you look down to Africa, it's like, hey, look. The ring is still around. No, he's changed. We have lost Göring.
Did you? No, you didn't. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and do that. I should start an intelligence agency.
I already have an intelligence agency. I'm a big boy.
I meant to start it earlier, but didn't.
Excavation. And how about more factory output? Because we still do have some trouble with that, don't we? Peru declared war on Ecuador. Well, sucks to be them, I suppose. Are the syndicalists still around? Yes, they are still around. Syndicalism
spreads.
Disgusting. Very much disgusting.
It'd be real fucking great if, well, I guess they're doing good at pushing against the Pacific states. I think it's...
And I will go to the fucking river and help my little Austrian buddies. I do like that some nice person actually writes down when, you know, it's Austria and Australia are pretty damn close, name-wise, to make it easier to understand, like, you know, the one with Vienna. Not the kangaroo one. Just so stupid people understand. Sometimes you need to make absolutely sure. Just sometimes.
Is recruitment going any better?
I don't think that they will actually lose at some point. Bloody Hungarians. I'm not too sure though if I appreciate that Göring has disappeared from Middle Africa. Such an interesting view to have. Belgian investment. Second year military focus. Secular education system. Peace has been signed between Bulgaria and Serbia. Meaning what?
Is this fight gonna go another 19 days?
Everything seems to have really changed down there.
Ooh, and now they're getting pushed the fuck back.
How does it look in America? The Pacific states seem to be growing rather quickly, or still holding at least onto their territory.
It seems the way the Pacific states are growing are through hitting the American Union state.
Yeah, the only one who really seems to be a bit cut off is actually the United States of America. Poor little Megasa. Doesn't seem to get off his ass.
I'm trying to aid him as I can, but I've got one division.
I mean, I know that feeling.
I don't suppose you can send them any volunteers.
I've already sent volunteers. Austria, first and foremost. I don't think I can send more because, well, I can send precisely one unit, going off my division numbers. Well, one front at a time, basically. I do think that this will end in Austria's great victory and reunification with fucking Hungary at some point, but takes a while. Also, I see some fucking Russian troops at my border. That makes me a lot more scared than anything else happening in the world right now. I mean, I'm part of a defensive pack, but if they decide to attack me, first and foremost, I'm just gonna take the brunt of it. Nothing I can do about it.
We go there.
Austria does seem to be a bit slow, though, in reaching its goals. mean, come on, you have to basically surrounded on basically most of the front line. Just push forward brutally.
Seriously. That's what I'm over here saying.
Yeah, sometimes CA takes it. I mean, to be fair, I do think that if memory serves, the entrenchment works a lot more brutally in Kaiser than in other mods. So, you know, having a well-entrenched army is actually a pain in the ass to deal with. That is probably slowing them down somewhat. Defense is basically king in this mod. Which also means I should probably build some land forts along my border with Russia, but my capabilities of building shit are just not there. Quite literally not.
Well, they say defense is king, but I'm gonna be like, I don't know who the fuck is on the defense.
And just pull back and let your troops entrench themselves nice and for a long while. That does help. A lot, very much a lot.
Well, I'm trying to use my one division to, provided I can find like a hole to just take empty spaces, so that way the CSA's front, hopefully, if they've got front lines drawn, it'll adjust on its own.
Yeah, it will, or at least it will try to.
Gandhi takes power. Nice.
Okay, we now have that. Begin the recovery. Which means more stability. Kind of want to invest a bit more into my army, though.
Fucking, there it is. I had to fucking remember where Ukraine was.
East of Germany, basically, and then a bit to the south. And right next to
I wish I
Russia.
could just ask you for stuff.
Yeah, but that would be too easy.
Because, like, then I could just have the rifles I need just to take this option to support the CSA.
I would like to point out, I can't even send you any rifles because I'm not getting that many. I have to wait for the next gift from the Defense Pact to give me some. And even then, we're talking old Soviet, basically, rifles.
We're gonna lose that one unless they send some more fucking people.
Slowly pushing back the Hungarians. Slowly, very slowly. And this is going to be a long-lasting war. Also because, well, even if we take this area here, we end up with a river crossing, and that's not going to help with our plans. River crossings are, to put it mildly, a bit of a pain. Start land lease. Nah.
Okay, I'm backing my troop out of there because that fight is not one I can win.
A second. What to say? My leader hasn't changed? No. Can't lose my leader. He's looking so nicely at me. Want to train some divisions. Can I afford to train some divisions? Probably not, actually. I'll do it anyway. We're gonna be joining in Kiev. Is that in Kiev? Well, that did a number on my resource. Well, shit. So be it.
Let's start building an intel network against the Pacific states. I kind of don't care about building an intel network against the United States, simply because either the CSA is gonna win or it's gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
My intel isn't going to do anything to aid that. Now the Pacific, that's a much bigger, deadlier foe.
They are indeed. I seem to be the only ones who seem to be gaining quite a bit. Against everybody. Okay. Come on. Austria. I believe in you still. Just fucking rush them. Let's take the little winning points away from them because they don't deserve them. And then try to get Budapest, because if we get Budapest, which is the capital city, that would help. Gustav V of Sweden abdicates the throne.
Advocated the throne. Interesting.
And the northern lights dim further. Who's in charge of Sweden now? Per Albin Hansen. Regional languages. The Kingdom of Finland has requested grain. Blah 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 blah. As far as we can solve these, it seems that we can begin exporting it once more. And it's also true that the grain at home would also be wise in any other potential crisis. Yeah, we shall give them some grain. Grain becomes less splintered. God bless them for that. Okay. Finally taking this. So we need to take. I need to take that one next to the bridge. Just a bit more into construction for a moment.
The Swedish commune has joined the Third International.
Oh god, Swedish has turned syndicalist. They have indeed very much turned radical socialist. That's gonna do wonders for them. This does not bode well for the normal Democrats, because we seem to be losing a lot of normal Democrats along the way. But at least this war goes rather well. Superior firepower doctrine. Give me more of that. I think in most cases, when I don't have anything very specific in mind, superior firepower doctrine is basically the best doctrine to go by.
Well, we're about to take Nashville, which is in Tennessee.
And you actually
So that's what would make taking America in this game so fucking hard, is the sheer number of victory points available.
Yep.
There's a minimum of 50.
I mean, it is America. What were you expecting? Okay, there's Nashville. Jesus Christ. Having to remember which state is on the American map is challenging.
I mean, look, without looking at the map, I couldn't tell you. And if the map wasn't labeled, I'd miss most of them.
Just take me a second. I mean, I know in general terms where things are, but especially if I'm not fully focused, it takes me a moment like what? Nashville? Tennessee?
Like, as long as the
like,
fucking... I'm still sitting on my network. As long as the lines were there, I could tell you some of them just by the shape. Like Arkansas, Kansas, Texas, Cali, Washington. I can tell you those.
Oh.
Florida. I could get Florida right. But like, I'm looking at this map, I can't tell you where like Michigan is.
Miami. I found Miami in Florida. Oh, look at that. My island has joined RISE-PAC. That's good. America tries a bit of a reconquered style. Either New Texas or I can request a German loan. Germany!
The American Union state even stand for. Oh, fucking course. No wonder my state of Arkansas fell into that one.
I just nicely asked the Germans for some money for my elections. I'm sure the Germans will give me some money for my election. The Germans love
why
me.
wouldn't they?
Yeah. What's there to lose, Germany? Just give me some money. And Germany's like, are you sure about that?
Nope. You fall back because apparently nobody's going to aid us in that assault. Oh, now they want to start their own. Okay, now we'll join it.
I hopefully can take Budapest soon with my allies. That's gonna help.
How's our northern front going? Okay, looks like the United States is on the way out.
It does look that way, doesn't it?
And it seems we are holding against the Pacific states. What am I missing here? Republicans? That doesn't. So the Pacific states stayed with the standard system. Oh, that's strange. Well, then what the fuck did the United States do? Oh, you're a military junta. Eternal autocrat.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, most of those should be military juntas or considered as such. Because they are doing a little military putsch thing and trying to, you know...
Right, right. Well, in particular, I guess more specifically, he's an autocrat.
Fair enough, fair enough. Come on, Budapest, it's a capital city, that's gonna be worth a lot of victory points. I would very much like Hungary to stop being...
When I clicked to look at the political ideology of the Pacific states, I looked at it, I was like, Republican? Well, what fucking is that supposed to... Oh, wait, this is America.
Like, welcome to America.
Well, wait a minute, this is the 40s. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
It's not even the 40s, we're still in the 30s.
Like, this is that weird part of American history where, like, our political parties were actually, like, individualistic in our own way. Like, it wasn't just a misrepresentation of a already existing thing, I guess. Because, like, the 30s were a weird time for the American party system and what they may or may not have stood for. Because the seeing as how the parties didn't actually, because like in the 1960s, the American political system saw a massive ideology switch between Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, I do remember reading about that. Quite
They basically flipped. They just basically swapped positions, and that was it. They traded.
And ever since then, everybody was a bit more confused. Like, huh? What the fuck?
No, not really. Like more conservatives are. The conservatives in America are very confused. Are still very confused by it because it punches a massive hole in their narrative. Because conservatives in this country, they've got one big claim to fame, really, and then they've got one big, like, old faithful to demonize the other party. Their claim to fame is that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Never mind the fact that this was when Republicans were considered progressives. That doesn't matter. Their big way of demonizing, like, Democrats is the fact that the Democrats are the party that started the Klan. The Democrats were the main political party in the South during the Civil War.
I mean, that's of course a rather powerful claim to me making, to be fair. Because it does draw a certain image.
So, but that whole narrative kind of falls apart when you acknowledge that the parties had an ideology switch in the 60s. And so the Democrats became the more progressive of the two parties, with the Republicans becoming the more conservative.
Interesting how that sometimes works out, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
It's politics for you. Nothing is ever set in stone. Because of course not.
Well, it might be a little misleading to say, or even confusing to be like, oh, well, they just swapped parties, basically, which isn't necessarily true.
I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be a bit more difficult than that.
Well, the more nuanced is that, like, Democrats were on their way of becoming the more progressive party. However, you had what were called the Dixiecrats, which were the Southern Democrats. And they were infinitely more conservative. And during the Civil Rights Movement, Southern Democrats were not in favor. A lot of them weren't in favor of things like desegregation and the Civil Rights Act.
That
or
was-
like the Equal Voting Rights Act.
Yeah, I do seem to remember there was quite a bit of a debate about that whole deal going on.
So the Dixiecrats decided, well, then we're going to associate with the other party. They became Republicans. There was a very short window of time where they were almost their own party. Like, if you were to look at them on paper, they would be a registered Democrat. But if you were to listen to them campaign, they're campaigning literally as a Dixiecrat.
Would probably have actually done well to establish a third party, and then maybe a fourth and a fifth party along the way. That you actually have.
Actually, it was probably, now that I think about it, it was probably the closest that America's come to having a good, like a legitimate third party.
Honestly, I do still think that a healthy democratic system, I mean, you need some entry-level protection, so that the lesson we learned from the Weimar Republic, you need to at least have some support from the populace before you can be considered an actual public political party that does actually do government work. But if you establish that, then you should have more than two parties, honestly. It helps. It diversifies the politics. Also means that the voters actually are capable of influencing things a bit more directly.
But that didn't work. Just tried to block you. Didn't work. Child, you're not coming in here. I'm not letting you come in here to grab onto torches and beer bottles.
Ooh. Hmm?
Whenever we let the baby out of her fucking playpen prison, which we really only do whenever she won't stop complaining about being in said prison.
Mm.
We have to put pretty much the house on lockdown. Make sure all the doors and shit are closed.
Oh yeah. You kinda have to, otherwise, well, horrible things will happen.
Well, there's not a lot that she can get into. It's just more of I don't feel like following her around just to make sure. That's the big part.
Oh, there
We can church it up all we want and say we do it to keep her safe. We do it because we don't want to follow her around to keep her safe.
Collins holds on. Quick vote if you were going to win anyway. Yeah, good question, isn't it? And we get more stuff from the...
Somebody asked the former president that.
I want to give them more guns? I kinda don't. I do have a surplus now that they gave me some. I guess I'm gonna give back to the pile.
I've almost got enough guns to support the CSA.
I basically get
check.
guns from the Eastern Europeans. Yes, the Germany is a true friend and protector because they've given us a loan.
I need 600 more. If I can get 600 more rifles stockpiled. My house has been locked down throughout the lockdown and the whole COVID debacle. Man, I wish I had really wanted my state to go into a lockdown.
I don't. Does horrible things to your business. I can tell you.
Okay, if the government does what it's supposed to and takes care of the people it's locked down.
Yeah, the problem is they don't really take care of the businesses in the right way, though. I can tell you.
That being said, like I said, all I wanted, I don't own a business. I just wanted to be locked down so that way I could just get paid, stay home. I mean, that's not how they would have done it. They would have locked us down and then not paid us.
Let's see. I'm just an honest merchant and trying to do my honest merchant work, and then, well, it's like, fuck you and your business. What an asshole state. Pain in the ass. Is the American Civil War not over yet?
You're gonna throw your bullet in your shoe because he was trying to eat it.
I'll pop you with this door. She's gonna come in here and try and find one to take. Or she's gonna grab that torch.
Is it maybe time for some good old-fashioned fuel storage?
Many things that you can set yourself and other things on fire in this room.
Army defense, that would probably be good. All things army planning would also be nice. Non-combat out of supply penalties minus 3%. Ah.
I need just a few more rifles.
Look at it in a positive way. Ukrainian forces have just started training and will get their first unit Now, soonish. Training will be done shortly. On the 30th of December of 1937, the Ukrainians will get their first unit again. Took forever and a day. Okay.
Alright, we've just sent 2,000 rifles.
Let's hope that helps. I mean, they should be bleeding.
Nothing in the way of decision.
I mean, I have 6 decisions, and a few of those are kind of repeatable. Basically,
I have
whenever I get stuff from the Eastern European Defense Corporation, they're like, here, take 1,000 guns, I give them back 500. And they give me support equipment, I give them back half of it. And that's basically all I've been doing. For eternity.
Yeah, I have 4 bog standard decisions that I can potentially make. Not right, like I can't even make them all right now. But yeah, I can do my war propaganda, promises of peace, rally public support, and commandeer civilian trains.
And very soonish I will once again request money from the Germans. Because now that the Germans have given me money once, I'm gonna be a parasite and go like, Germany, more money please. We do it all for destabilization of Ukraine. Somebody has to. Also, German aid. Expert focus. I mean, that does kinda help me.
We are losing ground in the fucking east so bad.
There's my first unit. Oh, I have 22 divisions total. Let me see, how is it looking? Your combined syndicates are getting, well, not bigger, but they're also not really going that much. I mean, yeah, you're kind of losing to the Pacific States a bit. You are kind of doing well against the United States at the very least. European Union state is not doing much, honestly. Makes you wonder how this war will go. I do think the United States I will lose, but other parties might not lose that much.
That was my hope. Was that I could, it was that I could take out. Well, I say my hope, like my one division. But if I could help them knock out the U.S., then they can take all these forces and push them east. But then that doesn't do anything because still fighting in the south.
Yeah, I mean, this is the sort of... That's why civil wars are such a bloody fucking mess. It's basically a 4-way struggle at this point. And that means you have...
At this point, it's a 3... It's at this point, it's a 3-way and barely that. The United States is just there.
Yeah, I mean, they might be able to have a comeback. Things change. Not very likely, but...
Nah, there's no way. Not with this fucking behemoth of a goddamn...
Flanders declared
army
war.
pushing.
Yo, Flanders, you are in my pact. Can I send you some volunteers? Join wars, actually. Can join them in war. I can't.
What?
Oh, I can.
Who are you joining?
Flanders. Against, you know, friendly neighbors. Do you have a airfield I can use close by? Alright, I needed to post because I kinda needed to send my units over there now. All armies! Eastern defense is over! It's time to go take over there. Okay. And I'm gonna help my brothers in the Rice Pact. Yes, I shall prove to Germany that they're not just giving me money for, you know, no reason at all. I will actually help you. Flemish Dutch War. Okay, let's see how big are actually the Netherlands. They don't have the normal colonies, do they? Well, they do have the Dutch East Indies and stuff, but I don't care. Finally, I have some fucking warfare that I can get involved in. Jesus Christ, it took forever. We are at war. You don't say.
Right there.
Go for limited conscription because we don't really have.
There's just not a fucking gap in the in the Pacific States front.
Yeah. The Pacific States seem to be the powerhouse.
Makes this shit all influence some strategy. The rate you talking about, like, that's all stuff that he said in, like, I guess the 60s or 70s. And I don't know, none of, as far as I'm aware, none of Biden's racist bullshit is was ever a part of it. Was like anything that was a part of the Southern strategy, or that he never took any of it from the Southern strategy. He's just fucking dumb, if we're being honest. And I don't mean like he's not like the dumbest, I guess. I'm trying to figure out how to best put this, because throughout his entire political career, he has said dumb, awful shit, and then like a decade later, when someone calls him out on it, he flat out admits that he was wrong, and then usually we'll talk like, and you'll usually see at least some effort of pushing forward policies to that backs that apology, if that makes sense. But he's a politician, he just said it for votes anyways. Yes and no, probably not, honestly. Especially in the 60s and 70s, there wasn't all of it. There wasn't as much of that as you might think. There was definitely that blowing smoke up people's ass for votes in their own ways. But not about things like integration or desegregation. If somebody was saying anything in that time to get the vote, then the more likely truth is that somebody would be spouting pro-integration rhetoric just to get votes. And that's honestly the more likely, and that's you saw that a lot with Dixiecrats.
People do love spouting every random nonsense that votes going to be counted soonish. Strange how that works, I'd say. Very strange how that works.
But so I when I say he's an idiot, what I really honestly mean is that he's an idiot in that reactionary way. You know, if that makes sense. Like, he's a reactionary idiot. Yeah, he immediately buys whatever the fuck he's been fed, forms his opinion and shit off of that, only to then afterwards actually, learn.
Which is pretty box standard as far as politicians are concerned sometimes. It's kinda sad, but also true.
It is, but yeah, all the dumb, bad shit that I'll lay at his fucking feet. I don't think the Southern strategy is one of them. They are really getting fucking pushed back in the East. They're in the West, and there's nothing I can do about it.
I just realized attacking Flanders from just one direction is a pain in the ass. Because I can't go just from Germany, you know? That would be helpful. No, I have to go through fucking Flanders up to the Netherlands. It's just a pain in the ass. Reasonable pain in the ass I can deal with.
On the plus side, the northeast of America is really... all it needs is just one person like me to come through and walk through all this empty, like, unguarded territory, which I'm sending men to do now.
Come on, my little troopers. Let us win this war as a nice little note. Oriented. Push back those bloody fucking duchies. Yeah, actually no need to produce fighters again because we're actually losing fighters. Very good. Front line is moving in a good direction.
The Netherlands, Germany thought to To be fair, strategy, the overwhelming majority of the time, everyone is wrong about their fucking estimation on how long it'll take to fight any given conflict.
Indeed, because that is basically just guesswork. It's like, yeah, they should capitulate if we do this, but that's no guarantee.
American troops were supposed to be home by Christmas literally every year of the war.
Yeah.
Every year of World War II, literally, they were told they'd be home by Christmas.
Well, and where's they home by Christmas? No, they were not.
Eventually, they were home before Christmas 1946.
Didn't joke.
Most of them. Even then, not all.
Yeah.
We didn't get them all home by Christmas after the war.
Like, okay, now the war's over. Oh shit, we have to do shit here now.
The war's over, now what? Now we're gonna go fight Korea. Don't worry, he'll be home by Christmas.
Yeah. This point probably every sort of was like, yeah, sure.
That's just a claim for morality. No, honestly, it's not. It wasn't then, and it really isn't. Especially in the American Army. The American Army is really big on not doing that. It's more of a... Because if you make claims like that strictly for morale, it is going to backfire insanely fast.
Well, yeah, because when you can't hold your promise...
You will lose the trust of fucking everyone.
Indeed. That's gonna be a lot more. But I don't get any German aid anymore. No, German, don't do it.
Whenever they would say shit like, "Oh, well, we'll be home by Christmas," first off, a lot of like, you heard it said a lot more often by the lower ranks than by the upper echelons.
Yeah.
And when the upper echelons did say it, the part that they were leaving out was the if literally nothing goes wrong.
Yes.
If we have the perfect best case scenario in every scenario, we're home by Christmas.
Yes. But that will never happen, not in warfare. As we all know and have seen all the bloody time.
The only moment it was true for the USA to be home by Christmas was in World War I? I don't think so. I don't think we got home by Christmas in World War I.
Might have been a bit late. But yeah, you joined rather late.
Like, I don't think we were home by Christmas for World War I either, and I say that because of the just the long travel time at the time.
I mean, it took you a while, but then again, you know, you did kind of choose a very perfect moment to join in that war. But like, yeah, we can kind of foresee this is not going to last long at the very least, any longer. That turned out to be true, so it might not happen by Christmas.
Joined the war and still lost a few 100,000 men in our first major engagement.
I mean, that was basically new territory, new lands to conquer, and new strategies to try out, and well...
Strangely enough, it wasn't, because the U.S.'s first major offensive in World War I was in the Argonne Forest during the Meuse-Argonne offensive, and that's one of the very rare few parts of Europe that we have a lot of very similar terrain to. We have lots of actual, even now, training areas in forests that are pretty much the exact same as the Argonne Forest.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty neat to see. Like, the one time we actually had everything fall in our favor, still lost like 113,000 lives.
Well, I mean, yeah, to be fair, also at that point, you know, most of the forces on the continent that were involved in fighting were pretty good veterans at what they were doing, so, you know, you weren't running into some new recruits right off the bat. No, you were actually running into some well-prepared men.
And I just think, and honestly, I think a big part of those casualties was on the general American service members' frame of reference, I suppose, you know, coming in all gung-ho, thinking that they're going to be taking on a battered and already beaten enemy.
Yeah. Weren't expecting those to bite back just that fucking bloody hard, now were you?
Well, no, but I mean, like I said, it was the Meuse-Argonne offensive.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Entente that was on the offensive. So of course, the Germans would have been able to produce more casualties.
Mm-hmm. I think they gave up. Netherlands have given up. I could take all of the states of the Netherlands.
Like, did I fucking win?
No. Can I puppet you? No. Can I take all the states? No, I cannot. But okay.
Take as many as you can, and then give me Holland.
I don't think you're actually in this war, you.
I don't even want it for any particular reason. I just want
I'm just gonna take Frisia and stuff. See how far I can go.
Isn't that like a shitty drink? No, that's Fresca.
Nah, Frisia is just in the national area.
No, Frisia is a beverage too.
Yes, but it's also,
Is-
you know, a
right?
geographical area.
Well, fucking so's most areas, alright?
Fair point. Fair point.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you what, one of these days, why don't you just Google a list of the names of every place that humans have named on Earth that still have a name?
I'm
That
not,
still hold that same name, and you'll see what I mean.
I'm not that... My game is not long in sync.
Resync.
Okay, what the fuck has happened, game? Too much
Haven't
things
had
have
that
happened.
issue in a long time.
Error code. N1, 22, 23, 24, 28, 29. Hey game, just resync. Okay game. I just won the fucking war. I just want to enjoy my fucking win and then be like, okay, it's time to go to bed. Well, if the Americans can't win their war fast enough, that is. Which I don't
Man,
think...
speaking of World War One, I got kind of a fucking SETI spaghetti today.
Hmm.
So I'm scrolling through the TikTok, right?
Huh.
And my TikTok is an interesting mashup. Actually, my TikTok is a lot like my Twitter in that it's like a shitload of political or historical stuff, a little bit of shit posting, video game stuff. And for TikTok, there's a couple of thirst traps on there. I just have porn on my Twitter. Because I can.
I mean,
And sometimes it's nice to be doom. Sometimes it's nice to be doom scrolling through social media and then suddenly there's just a pair of nice titties to cheer you up.
That is very much motivating, to be fair.
And then it's back to doom scrolling.
It's like, okay, doom, gloom, doom, gloom, doom, gloom. Oh, titties. Nice. And then wieder doom, gloom, doom, gloom, doom, gloom.
Exactly. It breaks up the monotony.
Yeah, boy.
Anyway, so there's one creator who I was just scrolling through the For You page and come across this dude, and he's got a video talking about a very famous New York unit from World War One called the Harlem Hellfighters. And for the most part, he had gotten everything correct. He was specifically talking about the most decorated American soldier in World War One. Was a member of the Harlem Hellfighters. Except he called them the Manhattan Hellfighters. I immediately went in the comments and was like, my good man, I do believe that that is not their name. And he's, my bad. And one of his videos, like and in this little thing, he's talking about how, how the Harlem Hellfighters were sent over to France because they weren't allowed to fight alongside white American troops. So I dug into his ass again because I'm like, oh no, you're right. That's why they were sent to France. Might I recommend looking into how the French treated black soldiers? And you'll find that this hero's accomplishments are infinitesimally greater.
Actually, a bit of a funny story, but as far as foreign soldiers in your own army goes, or considered foreign soldiers, the Germans actually treated their very well, actually. Our Eastern European brothers.
The Germans?
Yeah, we had actually troops, whole units, divisions.
World
War II, mind you, the Nazis, actually had help troops from, our conquered territories. So Polish divisions and stuff. They were treated pretty damn well, actually. Because, they're fighting for us and they work. That's all we ever needed of them. They proved to be, close enough to Germans on the battlefield.
And that's always kind of, and maybe I'm just more evil than some of the most evil human beings in history. But what's always kind of baffled me was like, if I had been Hitler, all right, and I took the same course through, and I took the same path that he did, I would have mobilized every human being of every country I'd conquered on the way.
I mean, we did somewhat try that.
Yes, and I mean all of them.
Yeah, I mean, we got some units. We basically, you know, we took over their military capacities too, and, well, since they still had fighting forces, it would be a waste to not use them, so we did kind of mobilize a few of them. Not much.
There would have been, it would have been a full-blown 100% conscription. Children taken for indoctrination.
Yep, just send them over to Germany, send them to school, make sure they understand how great the Nazis are, and send them back home to spread it.
Yeah, like all those German mothers who have sons fighting in the war, well, here's a replacement for you.
They would have probably preferred that to, you know, getting a nicer letter like, yeah, just to inform you, your son is dead. As are his
You
three
would've gotten
brothers.
mother and then this new Polish baby.
Yeah. But no, instead, you know. But hey, at least we treated those better.
Now, granted, the big, like, I think a big part of what might have, because, like, and I understand, you're right, yes, they did conscript and mobilize to an extent, but not to the level I'm referring.
You know, you're talking about a complete mobilization, basically, of everything that is available.
I'm talking about conscripting the country. Either if we get our hands on you, you're either aiding us or dying, and those are your options. No middle ground.
I mean, it is a fair point, you know. You're either fighting with us or you're against us, and if you're against us, you know what happens.
I do know one reason he didn't do it was because, you know, Poles aren't Aryan, you know?
Yes, the same for every
Frenchies
other
aren't Aryan, you know?
I mean, you know, we did, as we said, we tried, but it's also a bit of, you know, can you really trust those troops to fight for the cause? That's going to be difficult if your cause is genociding.
You see, okay, you see, so I've thought of that too, and can they be trusted to fight? Probably not as not all that reliably.
That's why they were just held troops and not, you know, full armies of.
That being
outsiders.
said, you don't have to be trustworthy to get shot instead of the good the reliable soldier.
And we might have actually gotten away with that a lot better,
fodder, if you will,
if the SS hadn't gone into every bloody territory we conquered and started genociding whole villages. Because, you know, once that spreads, they're not going to be trustworthy soldiers any longer, because they damn well know what you do to their families at home. That's not going to work.
I would have done it almost like a modern day Constantine, where if you didn't know. No, it wasn't Constantine. I'm further back, and I don't remember who it was, but there was a battle in ancient Egypt where the attacking army, who was not Egyptian, they knew that the Egyptians were held cats as sacred animals, so they painted cats on their shield. They released a bunch of fucking cats in front of their front line as they've advanced. And they fucked the Egyptians. They completely ruined the Egyptians because they weren't gonna. They weren't going to harm this of their deity. So something similar, only, okay, America. If you want to shoot you want to shoot me, the German boy, okay. You got to shoot all these innocents that are running in front of us first. You have a problem with it, but I don't.
Becomes owned and controlled by Flanders. Holland does Barbarian Frisian Friars becomes owned and controlled by Netherlands, and then it becomes a puppet of King of Ukraine. Yeah, we're gonna make you my puppet.
Of course, but even then, I still, even if he had done it all like that, I still stand by my original constant analysis that there isn't a way Germany wins. There's not a way Germany wins World War II.
You know, that is, people can go like, but if they had done this or that, no. The end result would be the same. It just would have cost more casualties along the way. That's all. In the end, that was not winnable. Germany knew that, actually. I mean, our military leadership knew it, at the very least. I think from, 43 onwards, the leadership was pretty damn well aware that the war was not going to go well.
And I've always kind of cackled at the people that were like, well, if Germany had done this or that, to which I always have to I've gotten to the point now where I just stop them and go, okay, look, Germany could have won World War II if quite literally everything that had happened had been different.
Yep. If
in order for Germany to win World War II, Hitler has to not only not hate communism, but be willing to an extent, embrace communists, if not communism.
Bolsheviks, yeah. It's not going to work now, is it? Not in the long run. I mean,
Isn't it? The only way Hitler wins World War II is with Russia as an ally.
Well, yes, and I mean, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was a good idea to start with. Of course, that was just a scheme.
Yes and no. Like, and I mean, obviously, there was no way of fully knowing this at the time, but thanks to modern day being modern day, we now know that like Stalin was always going to betray Hitler.
Well, yes, of course he was.
Even if Germany had the nukes first, America would have still stolen half their plans and had the Manhattan Project done in weeks or days, not years. No, and I don't think that would have been the case either. But that's something that also people like to bring up. Well, if Germany had gotten the nuclear bombs first, again, you would have needed Russia as an ally. You know why Germany would have never gotten a nuclear bomb first? They did not have the resources.
Well, yeah. No. Look, there's a little boy. Hello there.
You know who did have a lot of resources? Russia.
Yes, but they didn't have the technology. Honestly, the idea of the technological exchange with Russia was not a bad idea. Resources on the east. Actually, the resources were one of the main reasons why Germany actually wanted lands in the east, the Lebensraum. Not just for, you know, the riches of the Ukraine when it comes to just food stuff, but just the raw resources in Russia's soil are very tempting if you have all of the technology.
What do I need to produce a fucking light?
Also, you joined... Who do you join? The Third International. Ew, you're becoming Bolshevik. I'm watching you. Disgusting. Disgusting.
Let's see, so I'll check out a rifle and...
So look at that, a new person. There's a little boy fried. He's now sitting there going like, hi, and then he's like, hi, and then he's like, hi again.
And then do a god
see
awful...
you, little one. Don't worry.
Why do you think Russia had like 5 spies in the Manhattan Project?
What, only 5 spies?
Right.
That's little. I would have more than that. I'd be like, yes, that sounds pleasant. But hey, you know, at least we got some nice little jets that Hitler wanted to use as a fucking bomber. Ugh. God damn it.
Yeah, but even... Yeah, and like even Russia having those spies though, like that didn't help them all that much.
Yeah, they were still behind the Americans when it came to the atomic bombs. They did kind of catch up later on, yes, but at that point, America had also slowed down its own research in that area because they were well aware. What
and
the
also,
fuck they were doing with?
And also, if I remember correctly, Russian spies weren't even able to deliver that accurate of an intel at the time on the Manhattan Project, other like in terms of its progress.
Yeah, it was mighty messy.
That was like the Manhattan Project was quite literally the most secretive operation undertaken in human history.
You tried very well and very hard to keep those informations to yourself. I mean, understandably enough, considering the content of said research.
And not just, and I should say, it was that way on all parts. Like every the Russia and Germany's versions of their Manhattan projects were kept at the same level. Like these were the most secretive operations that have ever.
I'd like to point out that Germany never had a Manhattan project. Mostly because all of our researchers scientists were over in your place and the Russians' place, respectively. Doing research.
You did. You had a Manhattan project.
Yeah.
In case you're misremembering, the Manhattan Project was was the code name we called for our nuclear bomb research development in World War II.
I know. Germany had, technically
speaking,
Germany
had atomic research going.
We had atomic research going on, but we were stopped very much before we even started taking that seriously. So you have to consider the amount of resources we did not have at this point.
But yeah, you stopped because you couldn't get plutonium, basically, or whatever fucking radioactive
uranium to start. Then also we didn't have the resources to build up the necessary facilities in a safe location. So you know, while it is technically true to say yes, we tried, we never got to the point where you could call it an actual project. And shortly after, every one of our researchers was split.
Deemed it not that important.
Yeah, no.
Not as important as being able to like...
Yeah, the V1s, V2s were far more important to us because, you know, we were well aware we'll lose, we can just do damage. So, you know, do damage.
Yeah,
V1s,
V2. To be fair, had they been utilized better...
Yeah, it's the same with the fucking... You know, we have a fucking jet engine. Use that as a superiority fighter, obviously. No. Hitler's like, well, let's do a bomber.
Use it as a bomber.
Yeah, let's do it as a fucking bomber. Every fucking
but military. Even if you'd used them as a fighter, they weren't they came too late.
And too little.
Couldn't produce enough.
Yeah.
If you had used them perfectly, it still wouldn't have been enough to turn the tide.
You know, the tide was not turning. I mean, that was obvious, honestly. That's what it is. If everything had worked differently, yes, Germany could have won, but let's be honest here.
But I said literally everything
Yes.
has to be different, which is upsetting because, like, I love alternate history.
Me too, but it's just not, it's not possible. You can't just point to one thing and go like, if that happened differently, Germany would have won. No, that's not how that works. Really not how that works.
Well, if America had never gotten involved, that's a pretty big part of everything changing.
Yeah, that would change a lot, but that would just, you know, end up with more problems.
Because now you've created just a different, like, you might not even necessarily have a world war because now you've just got Japan attacking Russia and China, and then mainland Europe fighting Germany, which,
Maybe, but even then I don't think we could have held that against everybody else. Not for that long.
Yeah, that's even at that point. It's not World War II for starters, and you would need, like, Germany would have to hold out against everyone
Long enough to exhaust them, and that's not going to work.
Like, not even long enough to
just the resources we
need. Germany almost knocked Russia out of the war without Japan pincering it.
Germany had already trouble just, you know, conquering a land is easy enough, but actually running that land afterwards takes resources, garrison forces and stuff like that. We were already splitting so fucking thin that, you know, our advances into Russia were going to have to slow down, and which means, you know, well, it's gonna become a stalemate, just a longer stalemate without the Americans. Still not foreseeable that we would win. It's gonna be a long-ass fucking stalemate, though.
Like, for me, where the discussion, where I usually kill the discussion is whenever people, like, once it gets to the point where it's like, well, if an army that had never encountered this other army suddenly fought it, well, then things would be different. Okay, so if it was an, so then yes, I will concede the point. In an alternate reality where everything in the universe happened differently, Germany could have won.
True enough. If everything, and really everything had walked very differently, then yes, sure. But that's not fucking reasonable, is it now?
And that's me also, by the way, being very generous with what I'm calling a victory.
Yes.
Because in reality, the best case scenario would have always probably been a stalemate.
Yeah. And then it comes down to grinding the front line over and over, and that's a slaughter that is not really something you can keep up.
And in order for Germany to have fought anybody to a stalemate, it would have required weapons research and development to cease entirely.
Yeah, but many factors that, you know, if things were very different, could have led to a very different result, but it's not realistic. In no way, shape, or form. And that's what people tend to forget.
That's why I like Wolfenstein's alternate history. Oh, well, Germany won World War II. Well, how'd they win World War II? Well, I guess they just fucking pulled mystical magic technology out of their fucking ass.
Yes, if we had pulled some mystical technology out of our asses, we might have won, yes. If we had suddenly discovered magic.
And it's like, once we're at and it's like, when you start that way, it's like, okay, cool. So thank you for acknowledging that this is the only way.
Pretty much, yeah.
I can get on board with this now. Let's go liberate America.
I mean, that's a fair point, yeah. If we had pulled some magic bullshit out of our asses, sure, that could have been a victory. But is the only real option.
And I love Wolfenstein, especially like the new Colossus is probably one of my favorite Wolfenstein games I've ever played.
I do remember I played one once. I think it was Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Long ago.
Well, Wolfenstein: The New Colossus does the. It's a fun story. Hang on a sec. What? Look at me. It's definitely a lot of fun, and it involves Germany getting the bomb first, because that's the only way they could have taken. That's even the game's like, yep, that's the only way they took out America.
Ah, well, okay, that point.
How did America get beaten? Well, they dropped a nuke on New York. They dropped a nuke on DC. They dropped a nuke in California.
Well, let's ignore the fact that America has actually pretty good air defenses, but okay, sure. We dropped bombs on you.
Again, mystical, magical fucking tech. They flew the bombs there from fucking mainland Europe.
I mean, you know,
There's not a plane that's doing that.
You know, what you would do probably is send them on subways, because that was something that was discussed at one point, you know, like small planes on a big sub. And then you send the sub over to the coast, and then you launch it from there, and then you can attack America. It's like, yeah, it's an idea. We never tried that, for good reasons. Many people are like, that's not
how that fucking works.
Also because, you know, we lost control of the Atlantic quite a while ago, so it was seen as a bit of a dream, put it mildly. Okay, yeah, sure. If we turn this around and if we get back the control of the seas, well, yeah, we'll consider it. That was the end of the debate. Hey, the idea was there. Also, you know, we were planning to get some carriers ourselves. The Graf Zeppelin, I think. A theoretical aircraft carrier at that point, but we were planning to build that at some point. Because, you know, that was the way things were going.
I always love the alternate history games and media of, like, okay, America has fallen. Just because it's so fantastical.
Mm-hmm. There's no way
anybody could kick our ass besides us.
Quite literally, yes. I think on this planet, there is quite literally nobody who can kick your ass apart from you.
That's not to say that there aren't militaries that couldn't beat our militaries. But you're not coming to our country and winning.
You know, you're not going to win America's soil for yourself. You're not going to conquer them. I don't see that.
We have more guns than you and our people combined.
Yep. I mean, when it comes to defense, yeah, you're pretty damn unassailable. I'm not even going to try.
And I would love to see any nation's military navigate the plethora of terrain and climate that is the United fucking States.
I mean, why do you think we came up with such strange ideas like, you know, using submarines to send planes over? That was more harassment than anything else. It wasn't supposed to be the start of a landing invasion on America. Nobody was seriously considering that because, no, fuck that.
I'm just saying, have you ever, like, been driving on an icy, slick fucking roads that are damn near impossible to drive on? You do that for about 100 miles, and after about 100 miles, congratulations, you're in Texas, it's now 75 degrees.
Yeah, that would kill most people.
Can you imagine equipping an army to traverse conditions like this?
Yeah.
Alright, so you've got your winter gear for Ohio, you've got your summer gear for Texas, you've got your extreme summer gear for Arizona, you've got your extreme winter gear for New York, you've got your mountain gear for every fucking state, because we've all got at least 4 or 5.
See, that's
just the sheer amount of fucking, like, just the sheer amount of just weather clothing you would have to carry to invade the United States.
Yeah. I see, even the Netherlands have problems with their internet. Germany too. Ever since their teeth struck.
You guys gotta check the post on T-Mobile.
Yeah, we have some problems around the internet right now. My internet too today was down for a bit, and then it came back, then it went down again, then it came back. And
I was like, dogs are losing their fucking minds.
But hey, it has been working for a while now, so I'm happy about that. Actually, how late is it? Well, shit. I think, you know, over the next 10 minutes or so, I kind of have to excuse myself, because, well, it's almost 2 in the morning. I do have an interview tomorrow that I would rather be awake for.
I'm back.
Now, will you be able to win your war in the next 10 minutes over in good old Americans?
Say what?
Will you be able to win your war in the next 10 or so minutes in America?
Do you think, are you asking if I can?
It doesn't look like it.
No, there's absolutely, in 10 minutes, absolutely fucking not. I'll be lucky if I can get my troops in a fight.
No, because I do kind of have to get to bed. It's like 2 in the morning.
You guys think it might be a Russian cyber attack, or do you think it'd be... Nah, like, if someone's gonna... Fun fact, if somebody... Now, like, I can't speak for other nations. I can speak for America. If somebody were to attack us with a cyber attack, they probably wouldn't go for our internet. They'd go for our power grid. And I feel like that's the case with most developed nations, too. If you're gonna hit somebody with a cyber attack, taking out their internet's gonna hurt. But, taking out all the electricity in the country is going to hurt more.
A lot more.
And probably is about the same level of difficulty.
Yeah, Probably not that much more difficult, honestly. So yeah, would be a better goal.
Oh, what you got?
Hmm?
Hazel, what you got? Where you gonna hang that?
It's here because we both do our streaming in here.
Oh, why is she screaming?
Rejuvenate the industrial sector. And then comes the succession question. The Grand Coronation. You'll find it becoming stable once more. It has been proposed that a second Grand Coronation. Blah blah blah.
He said he was doing a house in Conway and it was in there. The other people left it, so.
I'm gonna be off here in about 10 minutes. Okay.
So am I.
I'm not going to integrate into Russia. I'm not an idiot.
I went ahead and just filled up. Since I get paid tomorrow, I just did the Walmart pump, paid the pump, and it pulled the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Almost $50. But I'm overly filled.
Since most electricity is usually handled by a reasonable amount of only suppliers, you can actually take it down relatively easily.
Just keep some of the stuff there that I know the girls would eat.
Not impossible.
Because I have to get groceries for them. So all I'm doing is just getting some hamburger meat for them to take 2 pounds of it. And then a big thing of chicken nuggets and some fries because they'll have the rest. So it lowered the cost down. Of course, this ma'am and her wig is going to help a lot too. Of course, when I go to do that wick on Monday, if you're not working, I'll have you go with me so you can see what all you can get. So that way you'll know what to do next time. If it ends up being you and needs to do the shopping for the wick anytime. And you can always go to the health department too and refill it if you need to. If I can't get to it. You just gotta have the card and the pen.
Okay.
Can't really do much with that.
Right.
Don't really want to do anything with
We're gonna head on the bed.
that.
There's still quite a bit of ribs in there. I don't eat like. I bought bread, so I'm just gonna take a sandwich.
This cold feet. Why are you being so crabby?
She's ready for bed. We're gonna night. We're gonna night.
Fly, little planes, fly! All the way to Kiev.
We're gonna night.
I want some promises of peace. Give me more stability. Yeah, stability.
Yeah, I wonder if I can make it to Providence before we have to end this.
I mean, can try. I would suggest.
Already am.
I think that civil war is going to last us for quite a while, though. Still.
Well, this playthrough actually ended up going a little better than I necessarily expected.
Mm-hmm.
Just simply because I was just happy to avoid the civil war that Spain's always in.
Well, to be fair, in this alternative reality, that civil war is not so much of a thing. You can more easily avoid it, let's say. Because the tensions are nearly as high on the fucking mainland Europe.
I've been just slowly buffing my force over in fucking my African colony. Can I now send more volunteers?
And since it's bound to your division numbers, you can potentially, as long as you're producing more divisions.
And I haven't produced enough.
Yeah, then we're gonna get another naval base up and running, and I'm going to build some military factories for my little puppet. Actually, I think we'll do this later. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 Bop, bop, bop.
I wish the fucking syndicate state. I wish the combined syndicates of America here would actually go on a better offensive against their fucking Pacific brethren.
Well, they do sometimes take their time to get their asses going, sadly enough. And I'm still building that one little pre-dreadnought hull, and will be finished in 39, I suppose. Jesus Christ. I've been building that thing forever, basically. Pretty sure I started at the beginning of the game.
Well, it definitely appears like we'll take the northeast of the United States out. Hopefully, that means that these forces that they've got tied up here will traverse west rather than go down east or go down south.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like there's enough of a force down south, and even if there isn't, you need people on your western border.
Yeah, the nice little Pacific ones are doing their bestest at being evil.
Is the American Union...
Can't we...
Germany's backing the American Union.
That's Germany for you, always getting involved. What are you actually doing these days, Germany? Military expansion is what they're researching right now. Yeah, that's because
They're at war with the Pacific states too, so why aren't the Pacific states doing more against the American Union state? How is Florida still part of the United States? All right, I've managed to push this American front line almost all the way to Boston. If we can take Boston, then it's just a matter of mopping some shit up.
Sounds good.
Because if we take Boston, we can push north up, take Concord, which that cuts off all American troops in this sector.
Yeah, it should be good.
3 or 4 times speed if you can afford it. You should not mess with Florida, man. Florida, man, you get fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. This looks good. It seems like the East is finally collapsing. And Brazil
Florida man's only a real threat to foreigners, all right? To fellow Americans, we know how to handle Florida man. We've been growing up around him for our whole lives. Generations we've been bred to deal with Florida man.
The only true threat to America's left. Fucking Florida and its inhabitants.
I don't know that. We just let them stay in Florida.
I mean, fair point, as long as they don't leave it. What is Florida doing these days, actually?
It's like, we won't come in there and force you to stop making Florida men. We will force you to keep them in Florida.
Fair point. And I knew I want to do something with my trail network. Honestly...
Oh, no, you fucking don't.
That's probably not a bad idea. And I'm connected to the larger train systems. Yes, I am. Okay, at some point I have to actually start building some railways again.
Oh, God, not as bad as Alabama, man. Alabama's nothing to worry about as long as you're white, I guess. Take that as you will.
Can we... We could potentially afford that, actually, now that I think about it. How about more concentrated industry? Now then, how does it look with your check on Providence?
We are mopping up the northwest or east. Looks like they've already started pushing men down south.
Yeah, the eye being a bit hasty there.
I guess they're over there trying to take fucking DC. On the plus side, the United States is going to be done in God, it won't take long, but well, fuck, Florida. I just want to get this north. I just want to get the northeast. I'll just clear. If I can at least just clear this sector, I will feel like I've accomplished a significant amount.
Yep. I mean, it does look good for the Eastern Front, but yeah, your Western Front is still very much endangered.
Yeah, we've secured. We've secured the East. We need to secure the West, and they are getting more and more fucking aggressive.
Yeah, I don't think the Pacific states have actually gained much territory recently, so I guess they're getting a bit impatient. Like, Union States also tries to fight you. Go inside. Yeah, they try.
I've already started pushing. Oh no, that's us that pushed into Arkansas.
Ah, United States. You will be gone soonish. I mean, technically speaking, if they lose Washington, this would probably be the end of them. At this point. Haiti declared war on the Dominican Republic. Haiti. No peaceful times in America. It's a whole. America is easily murdering itself.
Yeah, I've got these 3 American fucking units that are just trapped in a port in Providence.
Destroy them. Destroy them all. We have no intel on this combat, you don't say. What I can tell you is that the roads are fucked. And 2 more little provinces up north. Along, yeah, capture those. Do it quickly. Then go down. The fucking Americans. Oh, there's a combat there. Well, that's not going to be much of a combat. They're not going to have many supplies, so that's not a problem. Last little area next to Providence. They too shouldn't be much of a problem. I don't think there's a harbor there. I know. Good, very good.
Wonderful.
It's actually nice. Now that my little war's over, I can just sit here and go like, oh, yes. Nice and peaceful.
Right?
I have a computing machine now.
Oh.
Get some breeders.
I don't have to recall my volunteers in order to send an increased number, do I?
And not really, no. If you can send
I didn't
more,
think so.
then you can just like send volunteers, and then the game's gonna tell you, okay, according to your divisions, you can send X number. Usually not much.
All right, the Northeast is fallen, and everybody's converging on fucking Washington.
Let's hope that finally finishes off that. I mean, they still hold, well, Florida.
Right, but that, I mean, at that point, that'll just get taken. That's just part of the Southern Front.
Yeah, they might actually, since that's only 1 victory point left there, Miami. If you take Washington, they will probably capitulate. Question is, can you do it actually fast enough?
I'm actually sending. I think they'll make. Well, fuck, they haven't even started. They haven't even started the assault. They're waiting on units to get in position and all that bullshit. I'm sending my troops west.
The Patagonian Workers' Front, eh? Well, Argentina got fucked. Well. But hey, now that you have some fresh troops that you can actually use, it could turn around things rather nicely for you. For your friendly syndicalists.
Taking so long to get over it. That fucking place is huge.
You don't say. Okay, America's pretty damn big of a country, you say. Oh. Now we're back to building roads. Now I feel good again. Everybody joins fucking this or that. I mean, the Rice Pact is still around, so, well, good on us. New York City seems to be fighting. That's kind of confusing. Yep. Americans are back at it again. trying to capture New York City. From you.
It ain't from me. I'm over here trying to make sure I've got enough of my fucking shit queued up. And let's see. Are they getting... Where do you see them? Oh, because of the boats.
I can see that there's combat happening. I don't see what happens in the combat, but I can see that combat is happening. I'm pretty happy with what I have.
And they did take New York. Well, they're trying to take New York.
Yeah, indeed. Can I help somebody in this fucking conflict? Well, I could help the American Union state.
I was about to say, aren't you allied with the Germans?
I am indeed.
I mean, yeah, you could help. It'd be the wrong fucking person, but yeah.
I think I will decline for the moment and just stay with my own problems.
Actually, go ahead and send volunteers to them.
How many can I even send?
Because they're at war with the CSA and the Pacific States.
That much is true. Can send
So
them
you
one
could send-
unit.
So you could send them a unit and start harassing the Pacific States.
Might not be a bad idea, actually. Where are you? The 14th Pictonta Divisia. I'm pretty sure I sent you before too. Americans, geese. And of course they're like, yes, send us some help, no problem.
Keep increasing our recruitable population. I'm finally getting some fuel. That stockpile is not.
Well then. Phew. Yeah, I think before we see the end of this civil war, we'll have to take a break.
Oh, you definitely will. I was just waiting to get to actually at least reach where the side of the fucking continent I wanted to be on. And it's interesting that you're like, I don't think you're gonna finish the Civil War. I know you do, and I've just gotten to where I was going, so we're good.
Very good, and I shall create a nice little save game. Push the game.
But before you do that, let me just get let me get my clicks out. I mean, you can hit pause. Yeah, I just need to.
Yeah, sure.
Get
everything.
Need to get the final things of if I don't do it now, I'll never do it because I fucking forget about it.
I know that feeling. I mean, I had enough times where I could just, randomly do it at the side. Worked rather well. Wanna set some more, Oh, actually, yeah, why not? Some artillery and some infantry to the Eastern European Defense Corporation. Because I'm just that nice. Also because I fear Russia, to prepare.
Well, what all factions are there now? There's the Entente, there's the fucking the Third International. I
mean, there's the Zili Clique, there's the Belgrade Pact, the Eastern Front of the Third International, the Cairo Pact, the Co-Prosperity Sphere, the Reichspakt, the Third International, the Entente, the Donau-Adria-Bund, and, well, that's all of them. Just a few. I do love the Donau-Adria-Bund, though, because that's basically Austria. Austria and France. Sadly, I'm not invited to that particular party.
I think they won't let. I guess maybe because I'm not the fucking faction leader. I'm like, I want to invite this. Let me invite the CSA. They're socialist as fuck.
Damn. But I can't invite anyone either because I'm just part of the Reichspakt. And obviously Germany is the leader of the Reichspakt for obvious reasons.
Let's take a look at the rest of the world just to see if I missed anything.
And to be fair, the Netherlands, who, are at this point my little puppet, They are too now in the Rice Pact, if they want to or not. How is my subject going?
I see that China doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, China is still busy fighting with itself, so Russia just takes pieces whenever they please.
China's just China doesn't exist. You tell me where you see China on this map.
I mean, let me see. The marked lake should be... No, they're not. Where the fuck are communists? It seems that they have kind of dealt with the whole,
Like, there's some governments, it seems, that are remnants of Chinese, but there is no place called China.
Oh no, there's definitely no China, and even those that should become China, the fucking communists, have apparently managed to fuck themselves over a bit.
What the fuck is the Feng Tian government?
Yeah, fair point, the strategy. Tibet is still a thing, they're still around, being all Tibet about it.
So it seems as China has gone back to its roots of being just nothing but a bunch of fucking warlords.
Well, yeah, very early history, they're like, okay, let's return to that, sounds pleasant.
Well, it got us kind of far the first try. Let's start from square one. So is Tibet still a country? I don't. Where the fuck is Tibet?
Smack dab in the middle, basically, a bit to the south of that. If you look at the Marklik, it's one step down. Basically from Russia, it's Mongolia, Marklik, Tibet.
Oh, yeah, it was right there staring me in the fucking face.
Nepal is also still a thing.
Socialist.
How the fuck does Nepal still manage to be a thing?
Find it great that
Bhutan is also
fucking...
around.
What the fuck is White Ruthenia?
Don't ask
Who the
me.
fuck is you?
They're my neighbors. I don't really like them. But what can I say? They're in the Rice Pact, so I can't attack them.
Well,
I can tell you what you're
attack
researching.
the Ottomans.
Attack the Ottomans.
Man, why not?
I have kind of the problem of that I needed to go through Romania and Bulgaria in order to get to the Ottomans. And I don't think they're going to be too happy with my transgressions. Actually, Romania might actually be a goal if you're not in the Rice Pact. And the Belgrade Pact, though.
Well, I'm done clicking if you want to.
Yeah, then I will...
Look at the save.
We'll make save game. Save game. Civil War is fun and dandy. Yeah. That's a safe name I will remember. And I think with this I will have to sign off because, well, no need to get up as early as I would usually do, but I still kinda need some sleep in order to be, you know, presentable.
And me, I'm gonna go fucking stuff food in my face
Fair point.
and fucking sleep.
That too is a very fair point.
Hopefully. I probably won't actually get to sleep.
I can only try your bestest. Different shift systems, that's always fun.
Right.
And yeah. I guess I shall end it here at this point. Anyway.
Well, I shall talk to you tomorrow, my friend. I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of here.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll see you soon.
Indeed. See you soon.
See you neat. Now, with that out of the way, and now I shall do as I said and as I promised I shall go, but before that I shall go through the usual. So now, there's fair. I'll meet you at you, most profoundly. Shall wish you a good one, and let me see who actually dropped by, starting on, I think the right side is easier? Yes, the YouTube side is easier. There's only one, and that is little Papagak, who came by and spoke some Ukrainian at me, going like, whatever. Does it really matter? The answer, no, because I can't read it. But I'm sure he meant well. That's all we shall remember for the moment. On the left side, we have, of course, the Cronos being the first to drop by. And then try to remember. Those are not really people you need to talk much about because, well, they're well-known faces, and if you don't know them at this point, I'll just stay along a bit and you'll learn about them quite a bit. Actually. Then we have, well, a returning guest, actually. And, well, it's a Soviet Empire. He came back to play for a while and getting confused, by the enemy waifus all over the place. Fair point to be a bit confused about him. Fair point indeed. And last but not least, there was another one. I swear to God I remember. Yes. Little boy 3 who came by. It was like hi. Then it was I. Then it was I again. Well, I want to again say hi to you too. And I think that's everyone easily nameable. Pretty sure. Which leaves everybody else on the more lurking side. You feel appreciated too. Pat yourself on the shoulder for your job. Well done indeed. And well, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll see how that works out. A bit difficult to plan at the moment, but I just hope it gets better in time. For the moment, once again, have a good one and